Man, oh man, we got a lot to discuss tonight. What's good, ladies and gentlemen? I am your humble host, Dave Smith. This is Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. This is, I believe, the 18th rant, the Peyton Manning rant, strategic karma. In this episode, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to break down Angela's HOH reign. We're going to break it down. She has had just as much, if not a bigger HOH-itis than Bailey has had. I thought this was impossible walking into this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing a lot of different things. Sam, I'm sure you all saw the Sunday night episode. I just got done watching it myself and catching up on today's feeds. And man, I got to tell you, that thing that Sam tried to propose, what did production give her, okay? Did they give her one of them Caitlyn specials? Is that what y'all on production? All right, that's neither here nor there. But this episode will be entitled Strategic Karma, and we will get it popping, ladies and gentlemen. I guarantee you that I'm going to bring up some things that maybe you haven't heard yet, okay? Because I've been overanalyzing. Y'all know how I gets down, you know what I'm saying? I'll be overanalyzing some things. So let's go ahead and let's start off with Thursday's feeds. That way I can work my way up to what happened today. Because, man, I'm telling y'all right now, I think Bailey going to blow up some games before the end of this week. I'm hoping for it because, honestly, as long as she does it in a way that she can be proud of when she grows old, like in terms of, like, not the angry black woman thing, I think she should go for it. But okay, so let's start off with Thursday's feeds because I also want to talk about the Sunday episode, but I think it's important to set the table. That way I can explain what I didn't like about Sunday's episode. But I will say that hacker twist was probably the most entertaining twist Big Brother has come up with in years. This is what the saboteur should have been in BB12, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it should have been. But anyway, so let's get into these feeds, okay? Because I promise you, I am going to set the table for you. So when you watch the episodes on Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to be fully equipped to decode the Matrix, ladies and gentlemen. So 9:13 p.m. camera 2. This is legitimately right after Angela wins HOH type stuff. Feeds come, you know what I'm saying? So Angela and Tyler are both discussing Bailey's power app, okay? And a lot of the stuff you hear me discussing at the beginning of this, you've seen on Sunday, but I will provide better detail. Tyler thinks Bailey never wanted to flip, that she was just gathering intel to prepare to use her app. They both agree that Bailey is wise to only use the app on herself. They both also seem aware of this hacker comp because Tyler is advising Angela to not nominate Scotty next to Faisal, but Scotty next to Rockstar. He also tells Angela she should consider backdooring Bailey if she doesn't use her app going into the veto comp. Okay, this is important to mention because technically he did incept the idea into Angela's noggin in order to backdoor Bailey. But the thing that I find very suspicious is, you know, on Sunday's episode, remember what I said about how when Bailey was HOH, they didn't provide any flashback to at least give the casual audience some inclination as to why she would even consider the flip. They didn't give us that. They didn't want to give her any positive motivations. For better or worse, they didn't want to give her any motivations to show that she understands the game. Then you fast forward to this week, Angela's HOH for all of 5 minutes, and they already whip out a flashback out of their ass of her telling Brett on what speech to make. You feel what I'm saying? So they know that she's IKEA furniture, ladies and gentlemen, and they are trying to, they see the writing on the wall now that Rachel's gone. I think they are betting their money on Angela to replace Rachel as their new production's pet. And I'm sure they got a kick out of all this bullshit that's going down as well. And there's a lot of racial undertones with Angela, of course, because she was involved in the nonsense. But let's keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen. Brett walks in happy as hell and celebrates with Tyler and Angela. Tyler leaves to let them talk, and Angela begins to explain Bailey's app. Angela tells Brett if Bailey doesn't use the app, she's getting backdoored. Supposedly, Bailey got mad and approached Brett to ask him, why are you making an enemy out of me? And we just saw that on Sunday night's episode. She did approach him. I thought that was terrible gameplay on her part. Once again, if you do not want to come off as the aggressive, angry black woman, why do you keep initiating this type of conflict? See, that is my problem. You know, I would like her to be more cerebral with the way she goes about things. But to be fair to her, as of today, I don't blame her for whatever she does after today. But before today, I think she definitely had a lot of ways out of this. And this is why I told you all last week. I went out of my way to say she has to use this app this week. She has to. If she doesn't, she's a flop. If she doesn't, she's out the damn house. Now, in a perfect world, I would love to know if she wins a battle back and is her twist still admissible. I would love to get that question answered. Most likely, no. Okay, but you know they wouldn't do that for her. But you know, I've been listening to Big Brother Gossip and Colette Lala, and I normally don't mention other places, but there's an actual conspiracy theory that production is trying to rig the game for Bailey to win. And I'm like, only someone that isn't black could come up with a theory like this. Like we're reading this way differently than y'all are. Like, and I'm not trying to shit on nobody, but I'm being honest. Production ain't rigging shit for no black person, okay? Fuck out of here, okay? And that's me being a realist here, okay? But I feel like people are projecting in a way, the same way Bailey was projecting on Faisal, all the things she was doing to Faisal negatively in the game. I feel like the Bailey haters are almost projecting on her that it might be rigged for her just because she had this twist. You know, there are people saying that CBS tried to rig the third vote for Bailey now. Now, all of a sudden, that's in the air. Like, oh, they actually put a tweet out and said, who would you guys like to win? Rockstar Bailey. They left everyone else out, so they must want her to win it. And I think you guys are on the fan fiction side of the game. But nevertheless, I think it's good for conversation purposes. So comment below if you think that this game is in any way has been rigged for Bailey. I beg to differ. If this game was rigged for Bailey, Swaggy, Caitlyn would have never been convinced to backdoor Swaggy. She would have never been incepted the idea to say, I'm a fan of the backdoor. You know, none of that bullshit would have even transpired. You feel it, dig me? But anyway, let's keep it moving. But yeah, Bailey told Brett she only told Faisal about the act. But then Faisal walked in after she did and lied, saying he never knew about it. To be honest, I don't blame Faisal because he's trying to play it extra safe. He doesn't want to disrespect Bailey's secret. And now, more so than ever, he sees the value in keeping his mouth shut because of what Rachel pulled. But see, Bailey made a calculated error here. You know, by sharing that information with Rachel before with Haley, it's going to play a role down the line in this week as to why Haley will never reveal she's the hacker to Bailey. And ladies and gentlemen, the amount of power Haley and Bailey both had together with this hacker and this other twist, identity theft. The amount of power they had together could have at least guaranteed one person from level 6 went home. Even with an Angela HOH, I think they still could have guaranteed that just by numbers alone here, because they still remove a vote. So let's say Bailey puts up 2 people, but they're really just pawns, right? Because she doesn't want Tyler using his shit to negate it. Then all of a sudden, the hacker comes in, throws up Tyler next to Brett. Now Tyler and Brett's on the block. Okay, now it's a different scenario. This isn't Rockstar sitting next to Tyler, where during the veto comp, and I'm gonna break this down, but this is a complete bullshit. This is for y'all to check it, to look out for on Wednesday's episode. Allegedly, and this is pretty much factual at this point because everyone confirms it happened, but Scotty was second place, and Tyler was first place. And it's one of them vetoes where you almost got to pick your poison, right? Do you want cash? Do you want a vacation? Do you want a leotard? You know, standard Big Brother carnival games type shit. The stuff we're used to, right? You know, one of the original comps that seems to always rig its head every season. Well, allegedly, from what I'm being told, Scotty promised Tyler he would take him off the block going into that. And I think that's all because Scotty felt so guilty by everyone blaming him for the hacker twist in the first place. And see, we'll see more of this on Wednesday because, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler was having a hissy fit. Okay, when I tell you this dude was so butthurt about people putting him, he was talking about, I've never done anything to anyone. I've just won comps. And then like 10 minutes later, he admits, okay, I did flip on the last vote, but Rachel had my name in her mouth. Like what? Like you just said you ain't do shit. Now you say, okay, I did something. See, once someone starts to admit they did one thing, oh, there's more than just one, coach. It's like they say, whatever a girl's body count is that she tells you, multiply that shit times 3. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? So when a motherfucker tell you only did one thing wrong, most likely multiply that times 3 too, coach. But yeah, so I'm gonna get into that in full detail too. But all in all, this is important to provide context because Scotty felt so guilty because he was being framed for the hacker. And I'm going to give you guys my reasoning for why Haley framed Scotty for the hacker. And it's pretty ingenious, but you guys won't believe who gave her the idea to frame Scotty for the hacker. That's something a little bit later. Let me bury that lead. But all in all, though, from what we're gathering with this veto competition, it was one hell of a battle. Both of these dudes were on slop. So they made themselves huger targets by even competing this hard in the heat. And basically Scotty and Tyler didn't want veto. They basically both gave up the veto. They said, oh, you can keep it, Angela. And Angela made a promise to get Scotty to be okay with it, saying, you won't be the back door and I'm taking Tyler off. Okay. And see, this promise in front of all of these house guests stirred them into a frenzy of confusion. Okay. Now, I'd argue they shouldn't be that confused, because as soon as that deal gets made, you should be fully confident in the fact that Tyler has been working with Angela the entire game. Okay. Like, it doesn't benefit Angela's game to get more blood on her hands by taking him off to put someone else back on. It doesn't benefit her, especially if Rockstar is going to go home anyway. But they didn't think they had the votes because of the hacker twist removing the vote, which is why it was pertinent for her to take Tyler off. So all of these things matter. But let me get back to the notes, though. I just like to freestyle in between to keep y'all awake. You feel it, dig me? But yes, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get it popping. I'm going to continue where I left off. Okay, so Bailey told Brett she only told Faisal about the app, but then Faisal walked in after she did and lied to say he never knew about it. So now Brett and Angela are figuring out Faisal and Bailey are closer than Bailey has been leading on. And see, now I'm starting to understand Bailey's game more, because she's so pissed about how all of these people are treating her. But at the same time, though, I feel like if you're so pissed by how Angela is treating you, it's because you legit believe you could flip down the line, proving me correct that you were a flipper at heart all along. So, she wants to, go off on Rockstar here. She don't want to tell Haley information there. She wants to throw Faisal under the bus here, and it's strategic karma, ladies and gentlemen. And she's been keeping Scotty in the dark for the past 3 weeks because she believes she can't trust him off one swaggy vote, and it's driving me nuts because Scotty gets framed from this hacker. Everyone assumes it's Bailey doing it. Okay. And the reason why they assume Bailey did it, ladies and gentlemen, is because of Brett. Fantastic gameplay. And I actually did my homework on this. Brett came up with a story, essentially saying after the hacker thing was unleashed, that Bailey was in the pink bedroom talking to Rockstar and they were laughing as if they didn't give a shit. So by coming up with that story, and see, let me correct that. Bailey wasn't laughing. She was just whispering, but Rockstar's dumbass laughed. Okay. So technically Brett wasn't lying. He was telling a half truth basically, because Bailey wasn't laughing, but by including her in the conversation of someone who was laughing, it gave Tyler all he needed to say, okay, she's the one with the hacker. And you could tell Tyler's personality changed from that point further. But when this hacker twist when it first happened, okay, when feeds first came back on, something happened, ladies and gentlemen. Something that production doesn't want us to know about Tyler. And I will talk about this a little bit later, but if you watch what happened, I got the timestamp for later, but as soon as feeds come back on after this hacker twist happens on Friday, I believe it was like Friday afternoon, maybe around like 2 p.m. maybe. I'm gonna have the real timestamp, like I said, but at the end of the day, you see Scotty in the have-not room talking to Brett and Tyler. Now, Brett, he's talking to him like, hey, bro, I understand. Woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? I like the thing I appreciate about Brett now when he's away from Winston, nothing is personal with Brett. He's literally just playing the game, okay? And from a sound gameplay perspective, whenever I say a sound game player would think like this, Brett seems to be the one who thinks this way immediately really quick. He didn't even buy that Scotty was the hacker when everyone else in his alliance was, okay? And he didn't necessarily buy Bailey was either, to be honest. He thought it could have been some other people as well. But the important thing is he can paint targets on people and he can downplay shit as well. I think he sees how valuable Scotty is because him by himself can't take on Tyler. He can't take on Tyler by himself. Now, strategically he can, but physically maybe not. So it's important for him to bring Scotty along. You know what I'm saying? But where was I getting at? Oh, yes. Scotty was in the have-not room and Brett is walking out. Now, what I noticed is something happened. There was some conversation. I think Tyler told Scotty off. I think he threatened him. I think he said something to this guy, okay? Because all you see is Tyler walking out of the have-not room, okay? He kicks a fucking pillow in frustration. I can't make this shit up. He's walking out of the have-not room. He kicks a pillow. He's pissed. He's heated, okay? And then you hear Scotty talk to himself and he's like, wow, he really thinks I'm the hacker. He really thinks I would put him up. You know what I'm saying? Scotty actually bought that they were getting a little close, which is a testament to Tyler's game. But at the same time, though, I feel like production is picking and choosing when to let the feeds come back after a big moment to protect Tyler. That way they can hide it from the edit and no one can complain to anyone. No one can complain to TMZ because we ain't see nothing. Okay. But I'm just saying, Tyler's entire energy was that of someone that wanted to fight. Okay, he was kicking pillows. He goes to the bathroom. He runs over there. He's punching his hands like this. I didn't do anything to anybody. You know, this man was butthurt to the highest level. Okay, and the reason why I'm mentioning this because it's very important to mention now. Because on Sunday night's episode, we saw one of the most cockiest, smug Tylers we've ever seen. Right. Well, going into Wednesday, you're gonna see a different one, a more humbled version of Lifeguard Jesus. And that's the funny part. Now, the question is, does production, do they use this opportunity to make him even more of a sympathetic figure to garner even more fans? Is this going to be their moment to edit it to look a certain way? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Once he got thrown up on that damn block, okay, it was almost like a funeral, okay? Like low-key, you know what this reminded me of when that hacker twist was used on Tyler? The like next 2 hours on feeds reminded me of when Jesse Goddard's got eliminated with the coup d'etat from Jeff on a BB11. It reminded me exactly of that. You just got a whole bunch of people. But see, at least those people were crying because they lost an ally. He went home. He was done. Put a fork in him, coach. But when you look at what happened with Tyler, he literally just got thrown up on the block and had an opportunity to fight for himself in veto. What are y'all so damn so sad about? I mean, you saw it on the episode. Sam's out here crying. It's like, what the hell is this shit, coach? What the hell is this shit, coach? It's like, man, it's like, and see, Sam on feeds has even admitted that she's basically willing to do whatever it takes to be at the final three with Angela and Tyler at this point. So I'm really rooting for Brett to cause a fracture in that. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's up to me, I would like to see a Brett and Scotty final two, because I would be interested to see Brett's speaking prowess versus Scotty's underdog prowess. You know, sometimes that underdog guy always wins. It's something about it. I think it would be very Ian versus Dan. Not trying to say Brett is Dan, but I think it would be a similar situation for the jury to look at. And then when you take into account Bailey is bitter, she is going to be the queen of, I was about to say Ponderosa, of Sequester. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting, ladies and gentlemen. But let me get back to these notes, okay? Apparently, everyone on the Falte side think Haley flipped. This was pissing me off, by the way. And then they eventually thought Rockstar did because they started buying the hype that she was secretly working with Brett. It's some dumb shit, okay? The rest are confused. Scotty even said that if he wins, he's the worst winner ever because he's so out of the loop. But at least Scotty knows Tyler ain't shit now. Or at least I thought he knew Tyler wasn't shit now. But now is the time for Bailey to prove herself. Jess was too scared to use her halting hex on Dominique. I hope Bailey isn't too scared to use her power now. Because right now, she's talking to KC trying to get answers. Bailey's talking to Tyler upstairs. This is right after the KC conversation, and reveals everything about her app to Lifeguard Jesus. This was the moment where I realized you can put a fork in her. Her game has no comeback to it. Now, if there's a battle back of some sort, yeah, she can come back. But at the end of the day, I've always been one that believes once you get eliminated in a season and you come back into the game, you no longer have a case to win because you've been eliminated before. You've been eliminated before. You don't deserve to win. Now, I know Gary almost won and Big Brother Canada won by coming back. But, you know, Topaz fucked the shit up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Bailey even tells Tyler she can only use it before noms. This was just a huge misplay here because they're able to time what to do to backdoor you now at this point. Worst use of a twist I've ever seen of all time. This is worse than Lawan to me now because she actually thinks she can tell him she wanted Rachel to go home over Brett now. And that's what really pissed me off. You're Miss All Girls Alliance. This just gets outed. You're clearly pissed when Rachel leaves, enough to start a fight with Brett, but now you're saying you want Brett to stay over Rachel? That doesn't make sense. And it shouldn't to any sound game player. And that's why Tyler ain't buying the bullshit. And to be fair, he has a right to not buy the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He has a right. And this is all before the hacker. But he has a right to not buy the bullshit from you because he knows that you told Rachel something that she misconstrued to tell Angela, which almost got Tyler fucked over. So now he thinks you're a leaky faucet. It's funny. Tyler almost looks at Bailey as Bailey looks at Faisal when Faisal never told a secret that she gave to him. It's pretty ironic, man. It's pretty ironic. Yeah, so if that's the case, she wouldn't have been rattled enough to tell Brett she only told Faisal about it. She even tells him she has the app until Final 8. All of Tyler's questioning here was so invasive. So I'm very mad Bailey is telling him this without at least being promised something on the other end of it. You know what I mean? Tyler isn't giving her anything, but she's giving him everything. This is so embarrassing. 10:11 p.m. camera 4. Brett and Tyler make fun of Falte for being on the wrong side of votes every single week. They'll keep this from the edit because it makes Tyler look like a fucking douchebag, okay? If they're looking to keep Tyler with a spotless image, they'll keep this from the edit. He looked very braggadocious. They compare notes about the week prior and why Rachel had to go and them being in a good position. The feeds then immediately switch to Bailey and Faisal in Geo room. Bailey lies to Faisal and tells him Rachel asked her about the app and she told her. Technically, that's not what happened, Bailey. She did ask you about it, but you didn't tell her about it when she asked you. You voluntarily told her about it a day later after you told her you wouldn't tell her when she asked you. But okay, I just want to clear that part up because it makes it seem, the way she says that, it makes it seem as if she was just looking out for Rachel. No. You felt guilty about making her a pawn, and you felt like the only way to ease her emotional state was to tell her a secret like that, to make her feel secure. That was the whole purpose of it. Let's just jump in front of that right now, ladies and gentlemen. But remember in the edit, she said it was on purpose. Remember this, ladies and gentlemen? Remember she went out of her way to say in the edit that she told Rachel about her app on purpose? Now she regrets it, and now she's saying it was on accident? I don't know, man. And now she's saying, oh, she asked, so I told her. I mean, all of these different lies, okay? Like, and see, Faisal needs to know the truth. That way he can prepare on what to say to these people. You keep lying to him and how everything went down, you know what I'm saying? He's not going to be equipped to be able to talk to a Brett about this same subject, which is why he got exposed, and Brett finds it funny. Now, anyway, now you can tell she knows she fucked up and is withholding the real truth from Faisal in fear she may lose him in the game. Bailey thinks it's either Haley or Rockstar that flipped, but Faisal thinks it's Rockstar because she's been following him around and been around Brett a little bit. Now, to be fair, she's only been with Brett once in the Geo room, just once, okay? But Bailey is using this against her, like, you could have made a plan in that one meeting, but you keep telling us you never met with him. And that's like, oh my, I don't know, man. I feel like the amount of time Bailey wastes chastising her teammates, she could be coming up with a strategy to get them all in line. You know, I just feel that way. I think she had the tools. I keep saying this. She had the tools to carry the mantle Swaggy built up. She had the tools. And she even had the other side liking her. That way it could nullify the blow of when she did get blood on her hands. But she just wasn't ready to take the shot. That's what it was. She was someone who had the ultimate weapon in her hand, but she wanted to save it for later. And that's really the saddest part. And that's why I kept telling y'all last week when she gave Tyler that free week. Okay. What did I tell y'all? I said that this is like when you have the fucking arrow through Achilles' heel. You have to kill him now. Otherwise, you won't get another chance. She won't get another chance. She's on her way to jury coach. I'm being honest. It's sad because Angela ain't shit. And I honestly don't want her to have this satisfaction. But Bailey made this bed, and the strategic karma dictates she has to go home. It dictates it. Haley walks in on them talking, and I think somehow Bailey and Faisal locked the door by barricading it. Like, this was actually really funny. They actually barricaded the door somehow. I ain't never seen no one do this on this season yet because I don't think there's a lock on it. So they like literally put some shit in front of it. Haley walks in. Bailey talks about wanting to know who she can't trust. And if I was Haley, I would take this like she thinks that she flipped. Notice how feeds cut as soon as the three of them begin to talk about Rockstar's DR sessions, where production must have asked her how she feels after voting, and they made fun of her. Now, to provide some context on this, ladies and gentlemen, production is very heartless. They make a fun of these house guests when they're on the wrong side of the vote. They like really make fun of them. And Rockstar, she's an emotional player, and she doesn't appreciate it. And she tries to spread this information to her alliance to prove to them that clearly she isn't flipping because they're saying this to her. But how can they know for sure that this is the truth? You see what I'm saying? So I see it from both sides. I see it from both ends of the pendulum. Now they think it may all be a lie because she's trying to ride other people to the end. Haley walks out on Faisal and goes on the offensive to get her to use the app this week. He tells her if he gets the hacker, he'll use it just to make sure her noms stay the same. Faisal could be the Bailey whisperer if she just stops dick riding Tyler so much and listens to her own ally. Okay, because people talk about how bad Faisal is. Faisal isn't that good at the game. Matter of fact, I wouldn't even call him good at the game. But one thing you can say about Faisal is he's loyal, okay, which is hard to find in this game, mainly because he don't understand it. But still, he's loyal, okay? Now, at the end of the day, Bailey was disloyal to him, and she claims to know the game. But she don't even know who the fuck Marcellus is from BB3. You see what I'm saying? So, and the thing is, it's funny because Bailey be around Angela and all these other girls, and she keeps trying to prove to them her game knowledge and all the history she knows of the game, but she don't even know who Marcellus is. You know, it's just very bizarre. Like, I don't even know why you would want people to think you understand the game, let alone have a photographic memory if you're truly trying to be the first ever Black woman to win the game. I just think you're contradicting yourself and you're making your road much more hard, especially on top of the fact that you snitched on yourself, which is why on Sunday night's episode, for her to get mad at Brett and say he snitched. How was he snitching when you didn't tell him this secret? Someone else did. That's not snitching on you. The person who told him snitched on you. Okay, not Brett. But I just thought that was interesting as well. Now, now is the time to unleash the identity theft. He then convinces her that if Angela is really her close friend, she'll keep her word and won't backdoor her, even if she uses her twist. And this is important to note because this is what makes Bailey think, no, if she's really my friend, she will, I don't have to use this at all. And me and you, Faisal, can be safe this week. So Bailey decided to basically use this entire weekend to try to convince people that Faisal won't target them if he wins HOH next week. But it started getting real sad around Sunday because she started changing her backdoor option because she was like, oh, we can't use this person to backdoor. We can't get her to backdoor her own allies. So let's get her to backdoor Sam. It's like, wait, what? Bailey, wasn't this the person that had a free week last week along with Tyler? Now Sam can go. Sam can get this smoke. I don't know, man. It's just very weird, man. It's very weird. Okay. Now, he then convinces her that oh, yeah, I already said that. Now, 10:34 p.m., camera 3. Bailey leaves so JC can come to speak to Faisal. JC tells Faisal noms will most likely be Scotty and Rockstar. JC tells him not to ask around about the vote, but then asks him if Bailey thinks that JC flipped. A house meeting gets, of course, Faisal basically tells him, no, JC, she doesn't think it's you. She thinks it's probably Rockstar or Scotty, that type of thing. A house meeting gets called while Bailey is talking to Angela, and Sam asks the whole house to throw the hacker twist to her because she'll never use it. Y'all saw this shit on Sunday. What the hell was Sam smoking? Okay. What are they lacing her cigarettes, coach? Are they freaking them shits? I need to know. Okay. Embalming fluid cigs. What's going on, coach? Anyway, what drugs did production give her before this speech? JC leads the charge on basically shooting this shit down, which we saw. But that only helps. Because that would only help Tyler and Sam's game if Sam had this app. Rockstar speaks up because Sam says it's a dumb move, but Rockstar says it isn't dumb because she's asking for a lot of control. Sound rebuttal here by Rockstar, especially to a friend of hers that reminds her of her friend Holly, and Sam talks like, oh, I've never lied to you in this game, Rockstar. Well, you did put her up after saying you wouldn't when you was going to put up JC. Oh, I guess that doesn't count as a lie, but you're not playing the game, but you're lying. Okay, whatever. Cool, coach. Anyway. Yeah, so sound rebuttal here about Rockstar. I think this is a ploy by Sam to be able to go deeper in the game for free, essentially. And I'm sure production didn't like this idea, but once they started realizing, hey, this could protect our boy Tyler, I'm sure they doubled down on that and said, this is making TV, even though it had no impact on the episode whatsoever, so it should have never made TV. But I guess they were looking for more stuff surrounding the hacker comp. So, okay, I'm not going to trip because the comp was good. And whoever was in charge of editing that had all of those faces and stuff like 2 points, 3 points. I had all of them looking around and shit. That was cold. It reminded me a lot of the show 24 when they used to do those. Like doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. And you just see all those people. I thought that was really good editing technique by them, by the way. I just want to give you guys credit. I don't normally give you guys credit over there, the editing department. For good reason, though, because y'all ain't shit. Not gonna lie, during this, Rockstar looked more loyal than Haley did because Haley looked like the flipper by saying, I trust all of you. During this entire situation, Haley just kept saying a lot of shit that someone who's a floater would say. Now, judging from the fact that she ended up winning the hacker, it's a good thing that she said all of those things because no one suspected that she won it. Okay, except Brett. Brett and KC thought that she won it when it first happened. They just read it off of her, which scared me. Maybe that production was tipping them off, but then eventually they dropped off the scent a bit. So that made me think, okay, maybe this is like a legit thing here. But yeah, so Haley kept saying, I trust all of you, while Rockstar is like digging in, like, no, y'all been lying to me this entire game. The hell would I throw a damn comp to y'all? You know what I'm saying? So I appreciated that from Rockstar because Sam is always voting with that side. So Sam, shut the hell up. Anyway, all the guys ran into the geometry room and started laughing at Sam's plan. Doesn't seem like it will happen. Angela must have told Bailey Rockstar flipped because Bailey is so angry with her about this vote and doesn't have the facts. Rockstar tries to reason with Bailey on why she would never work with Brett, but Bailey is so sure that's the excuse she would use if she really was. And that's the fucked up part. It's like, Bailey, like, so now Rockstar's an evil genius too? You know what I'm saying? Like, Rockstar's a simple person, coach. Like she has no reason to lie to you in this moment, okay? She never will beat Brett at the end. So I don't know why y'all would think she would work with her. Honestly, that's my opinion on it. But maybe they think, oh, Brett will rub people the wrong way. But anyway, 11:10 p.m., camera 2. Right after everyone leaves Angela's new HOH room, her and Bailey talk game. It gets to a point where Angela actually tells Bailey she wants her to be the first ever black woman to win if it ain't her. Ain't that a bitch? The same girl that said, your skin complexion is ghetto, is saying she wants you to be the first black woman to ever win the game, literally days before she backdoors you. And she's, at this moment, working on a speech to further drag you through the mud on national television. I truly believe Angela and Tyler have a personal vendetta with Bailey. It's personal. And I think for Casey to enable this bullshit, because it's been revealed that during Tyler's speech during the veto ceremony, this is another thing for us to look into on Wednesday. It's been revealed that Tyler also gave a speech shitting on Bailey as well. So they double teamed her like a bunch of pussies. And see, I'll knock Bailey's game, but I won't knock Bailey the person, you know? And I feel like they are teetering on, this isn't gameplay anymore. This is life for y'all. This is who y'all are outside of the confines of this game. You feel it, dig me? And for Angela to do the speech, now, granted, I haven't seen the speech yet, but for her to do the speech, to hurt Bailey the way she did, and then for her bitch ass, I'm going to just say it, her bitch ass to run upstairs to that HOH room and lock the door. And when Bailey comes up there to talk to her, because now Bailey's like, oh, you want to smoke? Let's talk. Now all of a sudden, I don't want to talk right now. That's that beta female shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, Bailey had no business trusting you. But I feel like you owed it to her to have a little bit of respect for her for never considering to nominate you. Never considered it at all. And this is how you repay her the week after. Now, this is strategic karma. I won't deny that. But Angela, you're playing Tyler's game completely. You coming up with this speech, telling Bailey you want her to be the first black woman to ever win the game, then backdooring her days later. That is a fuck you to black people. Not just a fuck you to her. Now, you've already said a fuck you to black people with your comments on ghetto skin complexion, but this is another doubling down on this situation from you. And that's the saddest part in all of this, because you got people who actually think Angela's good. Like, oh man, she's the real queen of the game. You know, subtle shade like that towards Bay. I don't appreciate it, but hey, you know, this is your week to go. She's HOH. I'm not going to trip on that, but this is what I talk about all the time. This is what makes people into goats in this game, when they do unnecessary shit. This is unnecessary. To tell her you want her to be the first black woman to ever win the game, what kind of placating is this? So you felt like the only way you could make her at ease to not use her app is by saying you want her to be the first black woman to win? I just think that's vile. And I'm sure the chat room agrees with me. I'm sure the comment section agrees with me. There is no room in this game for that kind of lie. Especially when Angela is probably knows that Bailey is the first black woman to win a pageant in her home state of Missouri. So I think there's some jealousy here as well. Oh, I'm not going to let you be the first black person to win 2 things. You're lucky you got that bitch. That's almost like how Angela's disposition is, ladies and gentlemen. And by her hiding up in her fucking room. Now, I don't know if Bailey's finally got to talk to her now because I'm ranting, of course. But I was literally trying to find a conversation between Angela and Bailey so I could document it or something. And this chick is hiding from her. Tyler, up in the HOH room, low-key hiding from her. You know, you got all this slick shit to say, then you run up there to hide. Just so you could congratulate her, like, we just bullied that black girl. Let's give each other a celebration. Like, what? Like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I'm saying? But I'm anxious to see if this makes the edit on Wednesday. I'm anxious to see on Thursday if they show the true aftermath of this, show how beta female Angela truly is, show how much of a bully Tyler truly is. I want them to be honest about all this shit, ladies and gentlemen. But of course, we know they won't. We know they won't. You know, Tyler even said, fuck Bailey. You know what I'm saying? In a storage room with JC. I'm going to bring that up a little bit later. But at the end of the day, man, this guy is showing, like, his true eyes showed. Okay, I always say, like, when he's in front of a mirror, you can see the real cold eyes of Tyler. You can really see that this dude is heartless. When Bailey walked up to him in that kitchen and she just said, hey, look, I'm just trying to let you know I ain't never won that hacker twist. Just want to let you know that. The smug look on Tyler's face and his response, all he said was K. You know, just smug, dismissive, got a smirk on his face as she walks away. Then he says in a joking manner, JC, you must have the hacker then. I mean, it's just like, man. And that's why, honestly, man, Swaggy C, I wouldn't blame you for beating this motherfucker's ass, man. We'll put together the bail money on GoFundMe, coach. Whoop his ass for us post-game. Please. Please. Now, I ain't asking for you to break nothing, but he needs at least to get slept. He needs to get dropped once. He at least needs to get dropped off GP. He needs to get dropped, okay? And see, I bet Tyler don't even know what GP mean, okay? But he trying to tell Swaggy that that his hood ain't that difficult to go back to. But okay, all right, fine, okay, fine, all right. But yeah, so she's lying to Bailey unnecessarily about this first black woman to ever win stuff, okay? We find out Rachel made an alliance with Angela the same day she made one with Casey and called both of the alliance with both of them the Vixens. Now this adds more context as to why she kept calling her and Angela Vixens. So she was calling herself and KC one too. I think it's dumb on Rachel's part. She should have just had a final three and called them all Vixens. I mean, I just don't see why she couldn't take that extra step. What are you doing? Anyway, surely if you got final two deals with both of them, you expect to be in the final three with both of them anyway, right? I mean, whatever. Anyway, the irony in Bailey discussing Rachel being bitter and needing to get over it is not lost on me here as well, because in a few days, she'll be the one that needs to get over it. That hurt. That hurt, but it's the truth, y'all. On Thursday night, she was shitting on Rachel so unnecessarily that it almost became so ironic, because you're thinking, like, let me document all the shit she's saying about Rachel and see if she follows practice anything that she preaches when she gets backdoored. Like, I was almost just taking notes on that alone, because I have a feeling production is going to put that in the edit just to be comical to shit on her some more. So we need to look out for that. But it's so easy for Bailey to say this when she's never felt the fire of that block. Bailey even says Rachel stormed off and played like she was a victim. Please remember all of this shit was said before the back door, because if Bay is anything like she has been the first 40 days, she'll be worse than Rachel was those last 3 days before Thursday. She'll be worse. And so far, she's keeping it together, but she's going to probably lose it eventually. Camera then switches eventually to Scotty talking to Tyler because Bailey, Casey, and Angela revealed that Rachel was an alternate for BB19. The thing I find very interesting about this is why, as soon as they mentioned Rachel being an alternate for BB19, did the feeds cut? Why did they switch to someone else talking? You know? And this is my question for y'all. Comment below. Did Rachel get on the cover of a CBS magazine in exchange for her having to wait another year to play the game she loves? Ooh. Wait a minute. Now it makes more sense, because I don't see them putting her on that cover, then bringing her on the show. I think that was a trade-off, because if you remember, I think that was a July issue that she was on that CBS magazine. Big Brother starts in what month, ladies and gentlemen? Late June, early July. It adds up. It really does add up. Now let's get to Friday feeds, ladies and gentlemen. Post nominations, okay? We got Scotty, we got Rockstar. 12:27 p.m. camera 3. Feeds come back and Sam is with Angela and Scotty in the kitchen discussing Rachel's game. Pay attention to Sam here. The woman who preaches female empowerment, going out of her way to say Rachel isn't a real girl like Angela is just because she's a performer, which is just a nicer way of saying Rachel is a hoe, so Sam didn't like her. I didn't appreciate this. I thought this was low, especially for Sam. But once again, this is important for me to provide context and provide receipts to these people showing their true selves, because you won't see this about them on TV. You won't see it. I'm sorry. Angela keeps talking like she's been getting tired of Rachel for a while, but we never got a single confessional alluding to this or her saying it to someone else before last week. Sam then tries to damage control this by saying this is why she targeted Caitlyn and Haley, because she thinks Scotty is too special to be played by these hoes, essentially. But isn't it up to Scotty to make a decision for himself, Sam? Why does Sam resent women that flirt with men so much? Is it simply because she finds it hard to do so herself? Or is it because she just prefers being around the men and she wants women gone? Because Sam's strategy clearly is centered around targeting women and keeping men around. She then says Rachel was starting to suck Casey. Wait. Oh, yeah. I had to make sure this wasn't like something like that would get my shit demonetized. I'm like, wait, she sucked her. What's going on? All right, anyway. She then says Rachel was starting to suck Casey and Angela into her world, just like Scotty. But little does Sam know, Rachel wanted Scotty gone the most, more than Casey and Angela did last week. In fact, Casey and Angela wanted Faisal gone. So this is post-hacker comp, 3:48 p.m., camera 2. Feeds come back after the hacker comp, and no one noticed, and no one watching feeds knows who won the twist for hours. Many believe Faisal won it at this time. Based off what JC, Scotty, Brett, Tyler, and Bailey said regarding the hacker, it must involve spelling a word. Eventually, Casey, Haley, and Faisal walk up to the bedroom and start discussing the comp too. Feels like everyone is so paranoid because they don't know who has the hacker twist. Sam uses this as the opportunity to tell people this is why she wanted them to throw it to her, but nobody gives a fuck about that at this point. From the sounds of it, production made them wear a blindfold, and I believe they left campus. So they drove somewhere. JC even admitted to when he was in his car or something. No. He admitted to when they were walking him to a new facility, he admitted to like shaking his head sideways. That way he could see what the ground or something. So, and I think they like switched feeds the more and more they kept talking about the competition and where they went and stuff like that. But yeah, that's just something for me to note as well. But notice how Bailey is trying to blame Scotty for winning the hacker in front of Scotty's face by mentioning how he knows lots of words and is the only person that got to 3 points, whatever that means. Now we know what 3 points means, but up until this point, I didn't know what the hell 3 meant. Anyway, I think this was terrible gameplay by Bailey here because it made it even more believable that she's been throwing him under the bus to others, because she just threw him under it in front of most of the people in the house and him. But by her trying to project so hard on Scotty, she made more people like Tyler and Angela think she won it. See, that's the thing. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. If you are trying too hard to pin it on someone else, you must have did it. You must have did it. This hacker twist is what the saboteur should have been. I already mentioned that. Now, anyway, 4:31 p.m., camera 2. Brett runs upstairs to have his one-on-one with Angela. Brett thinks it's a chance Scotty has the app, but he also thinks that he's weird enough to admit to having it if he did. Angela is still choosing to believe JC has the other power app, though, but it doesn't make sense to me because Rachel told her that, not JC. So if Angela no longer trusted Rachel and hasn't for weeks like she claims, why would she believe that from her but not what Rachel said that Bailey said about Tyler? Interesting. How can she believe one thing but not the other? Because she's loyal to Tyler, ladies and gentlemen. That's why. She doesn't want to believe Tyler has the app. So it's easy for her to blame JC while also not believing Rachel about Tyler playing both sides. Brett is so smart, it's scary though. Because even if he thought Haley won it by her behavior, they eventually look at the monitors and count the numbers up from the hacker comp. They come to the conclusion that there is no way Scotty doesn't have it. This is important to mention now because their perspective will eventually change. Okay? But one other thing I wanted to mention, it was on my head as I was reading those notes, was it was something about, oh yeah, if she thinks JC has the other app, why isn't he an option to throw up on the block and get rid of? You know, is it just simply because Bailey was dumb enough to reveal what hers does and hers sounds too overpowered? Wouldn't you rather deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't? I think that's it. Just goes to show that she's a little bigoted, because obviously JC can have this app and do whatever the fuck he wants and frolic in the flowers. You know what I'm saying? But if Bailey has an app and she actually was honest to one of your allies, thinking that would help her acquiesce and become closer to you because she thought all of you would agree to keep your ally with her, somehow that makes her the one that needs to go. I don't know, but I got to be honest here and speak up for Bailey. You know, Angela's not making much sense either. I'd argue Angela's HOH is just as bad as Bailey's, because she's getting rid of the only girl that's her side. So now she looks even more of a huge threat on the women's side. Who else stacks up to her on the women's side besides maybe Casey? But she's on her side. So you two will get nominated together. You feel me? And you probably won't win veto because you're up there with Casey. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, Tyler walks in around 4:40 and he tells his alliance he only got 3 answers right. We end up finding out that was the truth on Sunday night's episode. Same as Scotty, even though he told everyone else he got only 2. Faisal walks in to spy on them in the HOH room, and they low-key get mad it isn't Casey walking up. Faisal starts explaining his strategy of telling the truth right after the hacker comp, but everyone else followed suit, so now he thinks people would suspect it's him all over again that won it. Faisal actually held his own in this conversation with 2 high-level, top-tier game players in Tyler and Brett. I believe he did a fantastic job of not coming off as the guy who won the hacker based off how forthcoming he was with his thoughts. This is important to note because I feel like people don't cover Faisal making good to decent moves enough. So I'm going to give him credit when he deserves it the same way I would give anyone credit when they deserve it. You know what I mean? Production must have made a huge mistake showing the Cloud Power app on the TV screen, because Angela is now curious if this app could guarantee victory in a hacker comp. This is important for me to mention, ladies and gentlemen, because a lot of people suspect that the Cloud Power app popped up on the monitor because production was trying to give Tyler a hint to use his app to keep himself from going up on the block. That's what a lot of people believe, okay? And by them not showing us the monitor that had the cloud on it on Sunday night's episode, it backs up that conspiracy theory, because why wouldn't they be transparent about that? So we calling bullshit on that, CBS. Fuck out of here. But anyway, okay, Tyler, of course, downplays the cloud shit completely to save his own ass, but this was interesting nonetheless, because now if Tyler uses his cloud app and never tells Angela or Casey or Brett, they'll be just as bitter towards Bailey. They'll be just as bitter towards Bailey as, they'll be just as bitter towards him as Bailey would be towards her. That's what I was trying to say. Whoa, damn. He's almost forced to drag her to the end as his goat now, and Angela. He's basically forced to drag her to the end as his goat. As Tyler walked in the HOH to talk to Angela and Brett, Rockstar is talking to Haley, and Hales is trying to get her to understand that she's rubbing people the wrong way for how upset she's been while sitting next to Scotty. Rockstar is confused why Scotty is so relaxed. She then mentions her family being a big reason for wanting to stay, but Haley reminds her everyone is playing for something. But pay attention to what Rockstar says to her after Faisal leaves. Haley says she could go up in 30 minutes. Now, this is key. This is something a sound game player would read off of someone if they weren't aligned to them, and they would use this to throw them under the bus. But Haley is actually loyal to Rockstar, so she didn't. But that's why I'm going to document this anyway, because I think outside the box, ladies and gentlemen. Haley basically tells Rockstar anyone could go up, including her, in the next 30 minutes. And now looking back on it, knowing that Haley had the twist the whole time, she did a wonderful job putting everyone in her midst. I honestly think Haley only made one mistake this entire week, and that was the whole Girls Alliance shit. I think that was the only mistake she really made in her game this week. Other than that, I feel like she had everyone in the midst, and she was outplaying everybody, and no one really suspected her. Rockstar then tells Haley she doesn't think she will go up. Haley says, "We don't know that," which makes Rockstar say, "I mean, I don't know." Now, this is important to mention, though, because Rockstar tells her she won't go up. See, if I'm somebody who suspects Rockstar could have the hacker twist, why are you so confident I won't go up? You feel what I'm saying? Like, someone who's not on your side would immediately read between the lines and go, this person might have power. And by Rockstar immediately after that saying, "I mean, I don't know," it was kind of like when Bailey said, "This power app, these power apps." It was almost like that. That quick correction of what you just said, it's almost an admission of a mistake. And if I'm Haley, I read between the lines on that. But Haley is the one with it. So this won't do shit. But I'm just saying, if this was any other person in this situation, Rockstar could have been fucked. She could have been the scapegoat, not Scotty, and not Bailey. You see what I'm saying? Now, Rockstar made an error here, but luckily she was talking to the real hacker when she said it. If Haley was anybody else, they could have flipped that conversation on Rockstar easily and framed her for having the app. As this happened, another meeting was happening in the Geo room with high-level game players and JC and Scotty. JC is fishing to figure out if Scotty has the app, which he doesn't. He's also trying to get him to not throw up Tyler in his place because he will easily be blamed for it. But this is key because Haley walks in on them discussing this, which probably explains her throwing up Tyler later in the day. I told y'all I would hide it. I told y'all I would hide why I think Haley framed Scotty. It's because she overheard JC telling him, don't put up Tyler because everyone will think it's you who did it. Ding, ding, ding. JC is responsible for why Haley made that move and was so sure Scotty would be blamed for it. This is high-level gameplay on Haley's part because she had to have heard this through a door. She had to have heard it through a door. And let's be real, JC is one of the worst whisperers because of the, because he knows two different languages, so his whispering's a little bit louder and more deliberate in a way, you know what I'm saying, more direct. It goes through walls a little bit easier, basically. But yeah, so I think this is very interesting, and I don't think anyone is talking about this. I truly believe Haley did not 100% know who she was putting up until she overheard that conversation with Scotty and JC. I think that's when she knew, oh, I know exactly what to do now. Now, granted, she could have already known that, but that probably solidified her decision, probably crystallized it. All right. But yes, this is key because Bailey walks on them and discussing, which probably explains her throwing up Tyler later in the day. Haley framed Scotty because she overheard JC speak it into existence. I'm 100% convinced of this. JC tried his best to not elaborate further when she walked in, but he already gave Hacker Hales all the information she needed to throw up Lifeguard Jesus. Haley eventually peeps game that JC won't talk any real game in front of her, so she leaves to go upstairs in the HOH where Faisal, Brett, Tyler, Casey, and Angela all already are. By constantly moving, Haley doesn't look like someone with anything to hide. She's playing this twist perfectly. If only Bailey had the same innate ability to keep a secret, she wouldn't be so shit out of luck right now. If Bailey never tells Rachel about her app, no one thinks she's capable of getting another. But because she won an HOH on top of getting an app, she now is perceived as the biggest threat to the game of the level 4. And I'm going to call y'all level 4. Fuck out of here. Okay, at 5:16 p.m., the feeds get cut for the hacker twist to be used. Okay, so about 8 minutes later, that's when the feeds come back and the hacker twist is used. And this is when Tyler looks like the biggest baby I've ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. The biggest baby I have ever seen. Okay, I'm not knocking his gameplay, but man, the sulking, the cursing. Like, this man was allowed to curse with impunity. No one checked him. Everyone's like, I don't blame him. It's like, what the fuck? If Swaggy did half the amount of bullshit when he got backdoored that Tyler was doing, and he still had a chance to fight for himself, man, please, the edit would have crucified Swaggy. Let's call a spade a spade. Bet your bottom dollar on Wednesday when they show us the aftermath of what happened involving Tyler. I bet you they don't really show him cursing like that. They just show him, I didn't do anything wrong. And then he's going to have a confessional probably saying, I got all of them fooled, thinking I didn't do nothing wrong. Trying to play it off like he wasn't like the saddest looking motherfucker in the world that day on Friday. He really was sad. He was walking around. I mean, he wasn't crying or nothing, but he was just sore loser like. You know what I mean? Sore loser. Like, even the way he said, oh, it's the first time someone made a big move that wasn't me. You know what I mean? Like chill, bro. Chill. But anyway, 5:24 p.m., cameras 2 and 4. Okay, feeds come back and the house is absolutely rattled. All you see is Tyler and Brett walking out of the have-not room after talking to Scotty, who's very emotional because he didn't win the app, but is being framed for having it. Tyler must have went off on Scotty because he's walking out of the have-not room, because as he's walking out of the have-not room, he kicks a pillow across the floor. Check the feeds. I'm not lying. He was very salty. 5:24 p.m., by the way. Cameras 2 and 4, Friday. All right, anyway. As Tyler walks out, Scotty has a smirk on his face that says, interesting. He thinks I put him up. Feeds transition to Tyler, mad as hell, walking to the bathroom pissed. All you see is Sam and KC looking sad while JC and Angela are trying to compute what the hell just happened. Faisal is shocked too. He hasn't even left his spot on the couch yet. I mean, this motherfucker still was like, this shit was funny. Like, it was like a clean 10 minutes later. Faisal said, but to be fair though, that made people think he didn't do it, though. You know, I think Faisal would have loved to brag about doing it to somebody, but he didn't do it. Faisal makes a great play here, though, by being the first person to come comfort Tyler. Once again, another underrated play here by Faisal. I'm going to give you your credit when it's due, my good sir. By doing this, he plays similarly to Haley because being in plain sight allows you to blend in socially. He asked Tyler if Scotty did it because his excuse could always be that they've grown close, so it can't be him, and Tyler agrees. Angela walks up, completely sold at this point that Scotty had to have done it as well. Tyler is convinced Scotty won't pick himself because it's too obvious for Vito. It's getting to a point now where people believe Scotty is Superman in this bitch. Like, I'm not lying to y'all. Motherfuckers think this dude is like Martian Manhunter or something. He can read minds in his mouth. I don't know, coach. Like, he's capable of quadruple bluffs just for the sake of being an evil genius. But here's the thing, though. I have never heard Scotty call himself an evil genius. I've never heard him self-proclaim it. Now, maybe he has on feeds. I have never once said, I'm an evil genius. Like, I've never once heard him. It's always someone else calling him that to keep his target big. And I feel bad for Scotty because it's like, he can't check you and tell him to stop calling him that because then his target gets even bigger. Oh, Scotty had an attitude with me. He's a genius and he's aggressive. Oh, you see what I'm saying? It's like, man, I don't know, man. But this goes to show why this archetype is now having a hard time. You know, we saw what happened with Cameron in BB19. This archetype is having a hard time. Now, luckily, Scotty is more athletic than his archetype usually comes into this game with, okay? So Scotty can hold his own a bit, but it's just sad how, you know, they just label him a diabolical genius. And see, this is exactly why, ladies and gentlemen, if I went to the Big Brother house, I'd wear contact lenses. Y'all ain't seeing me wearing glasses ever in that damn house. I don't want to be looked at as an intelligent motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I do not want to be looked at as an intelligent motherfucker. I'm sorry, coach. Like, I think it is a bad move to ever wear glasses on Big Brother or Survivor. I just think it's a bad move. All right. So this is really just another day of painting a massive target on Scotty by making it seem like all his moves are beyond comprehension. Sam walks in on them in the bathroom and then comes up with another stupid plan of asking everyone to let her play for Vito if they're the hacker. I mean, this is just diabolical ignorance at this point. It's like, Sam, you keep saying you're not playing the game. You keep saying you don't know how, but you keep asking people to give you power in the game. That does not make any sense. Just like you preaching female empowerment, but only targeting women doesn't make any sense. Okay? But I'm just glad Sam is starting to fall from grace as Brett rises. I'm glad because I thought the people's obsession with her, I mean, she's on my draft team, but people's obsession with her is a little weird. It's like, what are y'all obsessed with her about? She's not good at the game. I thought super fans love people who are good at the game, or at least they love people who, you know what I'm saying, are entertaining. She's not either. She's not entertaining or good at the game. I don't want to see her make a whole bunch of do-it-yourself like fucking chimes and, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to see this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see her picking up a cricket and trying to smuggle it into the house to sleep with. I don't want to see this, coach. I don't want to see it, coach. All right. Now, maybe she is doing this because she will always throw it to Tyler or Angela. But this once again shows how bad and unpredictable Sam is as a player. Tyler looked really defeated during most of Friday. He was cursing in front of everyone, punching his hands, talking like this could be the end because of the hacker's ability to negate a vote on Thursday. But Faisal's execution here in building up Tyler's disdain for Scotty was very smart because it kept all speculation from not only Faisal, but Haley as well. Another thing Faisal's not getting credit for. Faisal did a fantastic job here, in my opinion, but I think it's so easy and rewarding to see all these dirty players get so emotional about Tyler getting thrown up. They were acting like Jesse's alliance in BB11 after Jeff used the coup d'etat, and Tyler ain't even eliminated yet. But pay attention to how often Tyler kept saying he saw this coming. Almost like production tipped him off or something. Because right before the feeds went away, he was spending so much time with Scotty. I mean, he was playing foosball upstairs the whole night. He definitely said something to him in his rage that I expect production to leave off TV because they kept it off feeds too. Also notice how disrespectful he was towards JC. All JC did was ask him if he nominated himself for strategy, which was a valid question to be asking. Tyler responds with, "Is that a serious question?" Then he says, "What the fuck? No." Like, it's like a totally different Tyler on these feeds, man. It's a totally different Tyler, man. But see how all of these house guests are letting him blow off his steam without labeling him threatening. Tyler can do all of this and he's never threatening. He's never a bad person. All he wants to do is save the ocean. He's lifeguard Jesus. He can do no wrong. This is why this nickname sticks so well on him, because that's how they treat him. Even when he does something bad that's against his character, no one holds him accountable for it because it's understandable. Then if Swaggy tries to campaign in a calm, subtle manner, what do people label him? Oh, he's quitting. Oh, look at him just sitting there with the cover over his eyes. He's crying. He's giving up. He's kicking the bucket. You see what I'm saying? So it just goes to show when Swaggy faced adversity against way more overwhelming odds, he didn't have this reaction. He didn't resort to cursing in everyone's face. He didn't resort to punching his hands, trying to imply he would like to punch Scotty in the face. You know, little shit like that. You know, and see, Scotty, he doesn't come off as a guy who would, if someone checked him, he don't come off as a guy who would punch you back, right? Because he's a nice guy. So I think Tyler was doing all this on purpose to intimidate him, to try to see if he can intimidate him into telling him the truth. But Scotty didn't do it. So there was nothing to intimidate him for, which is why I'm kind of mad that Scotty flipped, but I don't blame him because of Bailey's terrible game. Now, anyway, these were the same people who saw none of this from Swaggy C, but substantiated the claims Caitlyn made based off rumors told to her by them. The ones who are giving Tyler a pass now. It just goes to show a white man can completely lose it, and it doesn't lead to his game never being the same. But a black man doing the same thing, it's unforgivable socially. Interesting. Broke that down, didn't I? JC seems to know this hacker twist isn't Scotty's because he isn't dumb enough to use it on himself and then throw up Tyler. JC thinks Brett did it because no one would suspect him, and by throwing up Tyler next to Rockstar, it makes sense why Brett wouldn't take Rockstar off instead because he hates her. I actually thought this was an interesting theory by JC. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was a really interesting one, but he is also wrong here. But it's important to provide what were on these people's minds when they were in a pressure pack scenario. Faisal comes back and promises Tyler he'll take him off if he wins veto. I didn't like that promise, but I did like the fact that he was trying to fight his way into the veto comp. And I think he would have lied and kept noms the same. Then the hacker takes away a vote. And then all of a sudden Faisal is looked at completely different. Oh my God, Faisal just completely just mindfuck Tyler. Oh my God, winners at it? You know, all of a sudden everybody's thoughts on him would have changed if he would have pulled that off. But Tyler was never going to pick him over no damn Brett. Let's be honest. Anyway, JC tells Faisal to stop telling people he expects to be picked for veto, which was sound gameplay on JC's part. If you keep telling people you expect to be picked, it's almost as if you're the hacker now, trying to parade yourself as not the hacker, and you want to be picked, and you're going to pick yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like it creates a lot of questions there. Like you're just fighting too hard to prove something that no one is aware of. They then ask Tyler if he talked to Scotty yet, and he says no. But that's a huge lie because he already chewed him out and kicked a pillow in the have-not room. Tyler is really sulking in his own self-pity right now, and I'm low-key loving this shit. Scotty walks in the bathroom and asks Tyler to look him in the eyes. I was like, okay, Scotty, talk that shit. Let's get it popping. And low-key, Bailey said the same thing to Tyler, too, because they know Tyler ain't shit. They know he the type of motherfucker that lies so often. Well, Bailey didn't know he wasn't shit up until now. But granted, you know what I'm saying? Now she at least knows, oh, he got to be running everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, she seems to be more mad at Tyler because she thinks Tyler made a huge mistake in this scenario than she is actually at Angela. And I don't understand that at all either, but I don't know. Anyway, Tyler starts crying about how he hasn't done anything to deserve this. All he's done is win comps, but we all know that's bullshit. Tyler is trying to compare notes with Scotty on who all knew they were close, and Scotty tells him everybody, which is the truth, Tyler. Scotty then promises him he'd take him off the block too. See, for Scotty's game and Faisal's game, I get why they are doing this, so I'm not going to overly critique them for this. They almost had to do it in order to not be the backdoor target. Scotty breaks this down to 4 options. Number 1, Tyler pissed someone off. Number 2, they want Scotty to be backdoored. Number 3, someone wants him and Tyler to split up. Or number 4, someone wants Scotty to get closer to them by throwing up Tyler. These are all sound scenarios Scotty came up with. I say Haley's motivation and reason for throwing up lifeguard Jesus is most likely option 3. And as soon as they get to discussing options, guess who walks up? Hacker Haley, right on time to make both of them not suspect a thing. You feel me? She even then helps Scotty think of options. This girl is way better than I thought she'd ever be. Biggest surprise of the season by far. And I owe you an apology for thinking you'd ever be like Aaron. Shit, Aaron couldn't hold your G-string, coach. She couldn't hold it. Anyway, Tyler says he did nothing to deserve to go up but win comps, but admits to flipping on the last vote, but then justifies it to Scotty, Rockstar, and Haley by saying he only did it because Rachel was talking shit about Bailey. What? And now that Bailey is getting backdoored, they should all compare notes and realize that was a lie immediately. I mean, what? So you got rid of Rachel because she was talking shit about Bailey when Bailey wanted the women to stay? And I feel like Haley and Rockstar should have read that and knew that was bullshit immediately. But of course, Scotty is almost coerced to believe it at this point. 5:49 p.m., camera 4. Brett is talking about what just happened with Casey and Angela. The three of them think Bailey did it, not Scotty. Even Casey believes it's Bailey, showing she ain't shit. JC walks in and they ask him who he thinks has it between Bay and Scotty. And of course, JC says Bailey because he sees the writing on the wall and she basically told him she didn't trust him all last week. I mean, it is what it is. I don't blame you, JC. You know, Bailey is your immediate threat based off of what you saw last. So this is strategic karma at its finest. Everyone in the HOH is talking like they must win veto for Tyler. They expect Bailey to pick either herself or Faisal for veto. Casey even spreads a rumor that Bailey and Rockstar were laughing about Tyler going up after the fact. And then eventually I found out it was Brett who came up with this rumor. But I watched their whole conversation and none of them were laughing except Rockstar. So this was clearly another great move by Brett here to make it seem like Bailey was also laughing because it made it look more like she must have been the hacker as well and that she was gloating. Brett finally is able to take center stage and claim a move here because everyone else thought it was Scotty until Brett said it must be Bailey. Brett is out-Tylering Tyler this week, if we're being honest with ourselves. And that's why I'm going to give Brett a nice little ovation because anyone that can start to take the reins strategically from what Tyler is trying to control the game in, I'm all for it because that means the late game will be competitive. Everyone thinks it's so suspicious that Bailey claimed to have gotten no answers right in the hacker comp, but she didn't get any answers. We saw her with a fat 0. It was a donut, coach, a donut. Angela brings up that Bailey even yelled to ask her if she figured out who the hacker was yet. I'll admit, this was terrible gameplay on Bailey's part. And now Angela is using Bailey admitting to having photographic memory from last week against her to make her target grow even more. And see, I told y'all that was a dumb thing to admit. And I even mentioned on the Thursday episode how her family even admitted she had photographic memory. So at the end of the day, it was bad gameplay on Bailey's part to admit to the other side you have photographic memory. In what way, shape, or form does that help you? It doesn't, okay? 7:16 p.m. camera 4. Casey and Angela finally get some time alone to discuss the game away from Faisal and Haley. Angela plans to have Bailey sleep upstairs in her HOH room the night before she backdoors her. Wow. When I heard this out of her mouth, I said, oh, this chick is really heartless. This is personal for her. I mean, who says that? I'm going to make her sleep in my room the night before I backdoor her and come up with a speech shitting on her character. I can't believe this, man. She also plans to go to Scotty and tell him she knows it isn't him who did it, but she won't tell him who she thinks it is either. That way Bailey won't know what's about to hit her. She also plans to tell Faisal he's safe as well. At this moment, Angela begins to come up with her veto ceremony speech, the speech that will guarantee she has no chance of winning this game. Those are the facts. But notice how Casey and Angela constantly have to ask Tyler if it's okay for them to say something to someone else about him in order to gain information and trust from them. It's almost like they're voluntarily handing him the control. They plan to tell everyone they won't mind if Tyler leaves until jury, and they'll also downplay who they think really has the app so they can blindside Bailey. 8:38 p.m., camera 1. JC is mad because no one filled him in on Bailey's app, but he's okay because he's all about the team. He knows Bailey needs to go home, but Brett only sees this being possible if someone on their side wins veto. JC expects Bay to pick Scotty and Faisal for veto to win it over Tyler and keep noms the same. JC and Brett both agree Bailey has been on a power trip and thinks she'll be looked at as one of the worst players ever to go home a week after HOH while holding a power app. JC is right. Bailey is a bad player. Now, I'm not going to say the worst players ever, but it's definitely the worst use of a twist ever. I'll say that because before Bailey had that twist, she wasn't a bad player. It just feels like once she got the twist, the pressure of having to live up to the twist, and I'm not trying to give her an out. I'm not trying to give her an excuse. But she couldn't live up to the pressure of having a powerful twist. She couldn't live up to it. She didn't know how to administer it. She didn't. She didn't know how to use it to gain more allies. I mean, you tell that secret to a pawn? Like, come on, coach. Anyway, a pawn that has everything to gain by spreading this information about you? I just don't get it. Anyway, they then segue to how terrible that hacker meeting Sam called was and talk about how annoying she's been as of late before JC goes to the bathroom. He returns and asks Brett if he thinks there's a girls' alliance. Brett believes there was one, but now that Rachel is gone, the girls' alliance is dead. He's right. Rachel leaving and Brett's speech all but destroyed the girls' alliance from the inside out, which is another thing Brett can take credit for, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this man is making his case here, okay? Rachel walks in from the DR and JC leaves to go to the DR. Brett tells Angela, oh, my fault. I meant Angela, not Rachel. I'm sorry about that. Angela walks in from the DR and JC leaves to go to the DR. Brett tells Angela that Tyler needs to chill out. He can tell he's tense and rattled right now. I liked hearing this from Brett because it shows he isn't blindly following Tyler nowhere. Then he starts talking about how Haley mentioned everyone's name but Bailey's for possible hackers. But this once again shows that Haley has been outplaying Brett this week because he doesn't suspect it's her yet. And while he's speaking to Angela about Haley, Haley is playing chess with Scotty right outside the damn door. So in a way, Scotty was right about the hacker trying to get closer to him in one of his options for why they threw up Tyler. He just doesn't know it's Haley. Brett is 85% sure Bailey did it, 15% Scotty at this point. They both agree Bailey needs to go. And if she doesn't have the hacker, at least they're flushing her other app. Saturday's feeds, post-veto comp, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Goddard's Mr. Spectacular was confirmed as hosting this comp, so that's something to look forward to on Wednesday. They say when Tyler and Scotty threw the veto to Angela, they said Jesse Goddard's was laughing at all of these dudes like they were fucking bozos. So that's something for us to look forward to, just something I want to throw in there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, 4:30 p.m. Saturday. Feeds come back, and Tyler and Scotty are exhausted from what seems like a brutal veto comp. Tyler reveals Bailey telling him about the app, which pisses off Scotty because he didn't know Bailey didn't trust him. He then gets more mad about how she made him make promises on the Bible when she's been lying to him this whole time. Ooh. This is when Tyler started to get Scotty to turn on Bailey. Man, and it was masterful. This was a masterclass on your part, Tyler. I got to be honest with you. The fact that you were able to remind him and drill that point home constantly over this weekend, she made you promise on the Bible, dude. Never do that again, bro. Like, never let someone make you promise on the Bible. Like, he was legit talking to Scotty in a way where he was just like, how could you let her manipulate you like that? And that created this animosity because Scotty starts to realize, you know what, you're right. How can this girl say I'm her ally, claim that she wants me on her side, when she got me promising on the Bible shit? And see, that's the thing. Everybody ain't as religious as you, Bailey. Some might look at that as disrespectful to think that they should be held to your religion standards. And see, that's another thing that I want to speak on, okay? And it's a little insensitive in my opinion to make people promise on the Bible. And Bailey spends a lot of time thinking, but acting like she's reading the Bible sometimes. I peep game. That's like one of her strategies. She like be in the corner with the Bible, and she likes to like think of plans and stuff like that. And that way no one can really be on her case because she's reading the Bible, which is a good strategy. But I'm just tired of seeing Black women use the Bible as their crutch to think of game plans. I want to see a Black woman walk into this game without a fucking Bible and say, fuck this shit. I'm going all out. I ain't scared. But I want them to also know how to play the game in front of their enemies as well. You feel me? I want that balance. Is that too much to ask? Tyler threw the veto to Angela to make her get extra blood on her hands for saving him. But Angela made the huge mistake by declaring to the whole house she won't backdoor Scotty, but she will be taking Tyler off. This sounds like the stars are aligning for the Babe backdoor. Brett is really frustrated with Tyler for not taking the veto. JC is trying to get him to not show this because it could get him targeted. But really, Brett is not really that frustrated. He's kind of playing JC to make JC think he's not that close to Tyler anymore. Masterclass. Anytime you see Brett and JC in the same room discuss game, JC gets washed. He gets washed. There's something about Brett's game that's a little bit too guile. It's too guile for him. I don't know. Like, Brett never gives him too much information, but JC is always saying the most words. It's pretty interesting. The same way JC can kind of spin around Bailey in a one-on-one, I feel like Brett spins him around. It's really like a food chain. It's like a food cycle, right? It's like you got the apex predator up here, which seems to be Tyler. Okay. And then everything like goes in a circle type stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, so Brett is also confused with Scotty for also throwing veto. JC tells him to chill out. Brett wisely thinks their side loses a valuable resource of information now because Tyler just revealed how close he really is to Angela, exposing Brett by proxy. He's also mad that Bailey will connect these dots and gun for Tyler. JC reminds him she's going home this week. She's going home this week, but Brett doesn't care because he's thinking about the jury votes. This showed me the class difference in gameplay between JC and Brett in a nutshell. This conversation revealed Brett thinking about jury management while JC is just trying to make it to the end by any means necessary. I think this will play a role deeper into the game later down the road. And I think this is an interesting point to mention this because I think I might go back to this and go, wow, I called it. You never know. Scotty comes in and they quiet down. Scotty notices this, so he tells Rockstar he's about to shower. He now knows they ain't really with him. He uses this opportunity to go to the have-not room to talk to Brett to get closer to him. Scotty is very mad at the idea that Bailey has guilt-tripped him for the vote against Swaggy, but hasn't clued him in on anything, including her app. He apologizes to Brett and realizes the three of them, him, Tyler, and Brett, are the best players, so they should work together. The most ironic part of this is Bailey threw Scotty under the bus in order to secure a possible flip, but now her misplays towards him specifically has secured Scotty to turn on her and flip. But Scotty has game reasons to turn, while Bailey only had personal reasons to turn. So I'm not mad at Scotty, nor do I blame him, just opposed to how I blamed Bailey a week ago. Thought it was important for me to speak on the differences between the two versions of flips. Tyler then talks to Casey in the storage room laughing because they both know he's coming off. But I'm really confused why Casey is this happy considering Bailey is the back door. They must be hiding something for her, or Casey just don't give a fuck. I think it's more of the latter. I think she just doesn't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? She's full of shit. Okay. Brett asks Scotty to leave to speak to Tyler one-on-one and reveals he's been acting fake mad with JC and Will with everyone else except him, Angela, and KC. He then tells him he thought that move was risky, throwing the veto. And Tyler explains it as a master plan by him to get Scotty to flip because Bailey has been making him swear on the Bible. Supposedly, before feeds came back, Scotty was crying upstairs with Tyler about the whole situation right after veto. And that vulnerability allowed Lifeguard Jesus to dive deep into Scotty's mind and make him see that he can trust him as long as Angela keeps her word. Scotty already likes Casey too. This group will be unstoppable with Scotty, in my opinion. I think they're the final five easily if they stick together. But it won't be that simple because you still got Sam there that's going to be dragged to the end by Tyler and whatnot. Yada, yada, yada. JC tells Faisal to just keep his mouth shut until the veto ceremony as much as he can and he won't go up. JC then meets Tyler in the storage room where he brings up how Bailey's behavior is that of someone who can see the writing on the wall. This is what I spoke on earlier. Tyler's immediate response was a whispered, "Fuck her." He actually said it. Go back, check the tapes. He said this, okay? And I don't really remember the timestamp, but if you go on my Twitter at Recency Bias Dave, just go to the time that I posted that and go to the feeds, and it'll probably be right then and there in the storage room when he said it. Most people on that side suspect Bailey is the hacker as well. So I think there may be a chance he's more mad because Bailey used the app to throw him up. But this doesn't check out as logical for Bailey's game to do upon further investigation because Tyler knows Bailey doesn't trust Scotty. So why wouldn't she take off Rockstar instead? This villain version of Lifeguard Jesus will never be shown on TV, though. Shaking my head. Sam must have really pissed off level 4, I mean, because she requested Casey wear the leotard from the veto comp only because she's already been in one. This doesn't sound like the same Sam that wanted gay players to be treated fairly in this game, does it? Does it? So you mean to tell me in this veto comp, Sam convinced someone else to give the leotard punishment back to Casey just because Casey had to wear one earlier in the season? That's very disrespectful because I'm looking at it like this. Sam, you was in a fucking robot costume, technically. Why can't you wear this leotard? See, that's what I would have said. You feel me? But see, this goes to show that Sam ain't really pro-gay this, pro-gay, because I told y'all at the beginning of the season, she was making a mockery of the gay pride shit at the beginning of the season. Y'all don't remember that? I spoke on that in one of the first rants of this season. Okay? She was making a mockery of that LGBT shit. She even mispronounced it, and they kept it for the edit. What does she call it? LGBT LGTB or something. She called it some shit that was like, you know, the wrong pronunciation, okay? But that showed her ignorance level and how little she cares about y'all. So for her to act like her whole gameplay is surrounded around her caring about JC and Casey having fair sex or something, like, stop it. You just like them because just like them, they ain't getting no action in this house and you ain't either. So you're just using them to project on. That's basically what it is. Haley is showing Bailey how to keep a secret with this hacker twist. She's got everyone fooled that it isn't her. They all think it's Bay. She even got Tyler to say, fuck the hacker, as he walked away from Haley. But he was clearly saying it towards Bailey, which is why I took it personally. I didn't really like this, because if Tyler thinks Bailey is the hacker and he's going out of his way to yell out loud, fuck the hacker, he's basically saying out loud, fuck Bailey. And see, here's my thing. You're a grown-ass man and you are saying this about a woman? That's not a good look. And see, I just wish production would show this side of him and let the casual audience decide for themselves if they don't like him. But by hiding it and just showing the best parts of him, that's not fair, bro. Because I feel like y'all are setting us up like y'all set up Paul in BB18. Because in BB18, I thought for sure he wins the game no matter who he's with. I didn't know he was doing all this shit on the feeds, pissing off all these people until the fucking vote read out. So that's my point, ladies and gentlemen. That's my point, okay? Oh man, it's crazy. Dang, I lost my my spot in the notes. I went in for a second. You know what I'm saying? All right. I'm very close to where I was. Okay, it's right here, I believe. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about. Okay, here it is. Woo! I found that fast. I'm a savage. I know. I'm a savage. Casey talks to Bailey in the Geo room and is lying so hard to her. I think she resents her for not revealing her power to her before Rachel, kind of like Haley does. Okay, Haley won't even tell Bailey she has the hacker. Casey is low-key not as tender loving with her care around Bailey no more because she sees the back door coming. It's strictly platonic and businesslike, you know. Because Angela feels like the hacker twist took away her powers, she wanted Tyler to throw Vito to her. That way she could have some power. The question is, who does Bailey hold a grudge with more for this back door? Will it be Angela, her day two Amazonist friend, or her sweet baby Tyler that she blames most of this on? That's what we have to look forward to here later down the road with the jury phase. Angela told Bailey something came over her, and that's why she made that terrible deal to save Tyler and not backdoor Scotty. This is bullshit, okay? But when she speaks to Tyler, Tyler tells her to act like she's considering Brett as the backdoor because he's been so mad. She agrees. Now, I don't know why anyone would believe she put up Brett when she just sent Rachel home over Brett. That doesn't make any sense. But this once again shows whatever Tyler says goes, and they will follow his rules, even if it doesn't make sense for their own individual game to do so. They're mainly worried about Scotty telling Bailey because Tyler is still scared Bailey's app can change noms before Vito. Angela thinks it's unfair that Bailey has an app because it gives her too much power. She thinks it gives her 2 chances at the game while everyone else only has 1. Technically, Sam had 2 chances at the game, which ended up being the Caitlyn because Caitlyn's dumbass wouldn't vote her out. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there, coach. You really dig me? Anyway, 7:28 p.m., camera 3. Haley is playing Bay perfectly to keep herself out of harm's way. Bay is trying to essentially get someone to fess up about having the hacker between her and Rockstar. Bay thinks their only hope is to re-solidify an all-girls thing, but they just sent Rachel home. So I don't know why this was the play, especially post-veto. By doing this post-veto comp, you look extra desperate. And Angela, Brett, and Tyler view it and perceive it as extra desperate as well, and Casey. So why is this a strategy anyone thinks will work when Angela just promised to keep 2 guys safe? And why does Bailey think they owe her a secret now when she chose to share hers with Rachel over them? Like, these questions need to be asked, man. This is another example of how controlling Bailey's game is and how self-centered her strategy can be, okay? She then starts telling Rockstar once again how to handle being on the block, but the most ironic part here is not lost on me that she'll be on the block next to her soon. Do any of you think she'll take her own advice after she's backdoored? Of course not. So I fully expect the edit to make her look like she is on these feeds right now. Blindsided. 7:44 p.m. camera 2. Haley was talking with Tyler in the bathroom about his situation and why she doesn't blame him for throwing the veto to build trust with Angela. This was sound gameplay in my part. Haley's part, you know what I'm saying? Because it told Tyler she doesn't know enough to have been the hacker. But it also lowers her threat level because while others are acting mad about what happened in the veto on her side, she's acting the same exact way. Angela walks up nosy, so Haley changes the conversation to her about to work out because she wasn't in the comp. So Angela agrees to doing it too. But the key thing for any sound game player or fan of the game to pay attention to wasn't until after Angela left to go get workout clothes from upstairs. Tyler yells something out. And I feel like if you're a sound game player, if you're watching these feeds and you understand the game, soon as you saw Tyler yell out this statement to Angela, who's running upstairs to get workout clothes, people should immediately connect the dots that this isn't someone who's establishing a relationship with someone for the first time. These are people who have been working this entire game together. This is the statement that Tyler made. He yelled out across the house from the bathroom to Angela as she's walking up the staircase upstairs. He says, "Damn, Angela, it's like you weren't in the veto comp today," which is essentially him saying, chill on working out because you're looking like too much of a physical threat. Okay. My thing is, no one spoke on this. This like went over everyone's head. They took it as, oh, it's just Tyler joking. But no, he was basically telling you that he's trying to limit the threat level on Angela, clearly showing that he didn't just get close to her during this veto comp. I just wish more people knew the game like I do when they're watching these scenarios back up. Because if they know the game the way I do when these scenarios happen, I can at least see them come together and speak on it together. And I'm not getting none of this payoff. And that's what's frustrating to me. But I'll keep going. The reason this is important is because it tells Haley Tyler is already very close to Angela, enough to yell across the house that to her. If he's simply developing trust with her with the move at the veto comp, he'd be more careful with what he says to her. But the fact he felt secure enough to subliminally tell her she's coming off too strong for the whole house to hear in code shows they're very close already. And besides, they keep voting together. So Haley is in a unique position where she finally knows information no one else does, and she can build from that to make a case to win the game. And that's what it's all about. Having key information no one knows about that you can claim and own later down the road. Up until this point, I wouldn't have given her much of a chance. I'm talking about Hacker Hales here. But if she can pin this on Bailey and maybe Faisal wins the next HOH, Haley could be the most dangerous player in the game 2 weeks from now. But she needs JC gone the most in order for this to happen, even more than Bailey. This workout becomes interesting because the all-girl alliance thing gets brought up by Rockstar to Angela, then Haley. Then Haley goes to grab Bay, and they come up with a plan on how to get Bailey in the room with all of them without looking like a meeting. So the workout is really the mist here, okay? The idea that they could come out with a workout that is only admissible during a lockdown. Now I found out later on in the night they weren't in a lockdown, but at the time I thought this was a lockdown, so I thought this was ingenious gameplay from a misting perspective. But yeah, let me start this over now. The idea that they could come up with a workout that is only admissible during a lockdown is ingenious to exclude other players. Everyone doesn't want to work out, but everyone is stuck inside. So it comes with a built-in alibi for exclusivity. But Scotty is such a sound player, he's up there watching them work out because I think he's trying to watch Bailey to verify if what he's being told about her is correct that Tyler is saying. Tyler is such a sound player in retrospect as well. He notices Scotty is missing, so he comes up there to watch them work out. Incredible. I've never seen nothing like this. This is high-class gameplay here, all during a workout. You feel me? By the men being upstairs talking game, they almost keep the women from never going into the HOH room together because Angela can't be seen with all three of those women from the other side. So the amount of gameplay that may have gone over people's heads in this moment, I thought was key and worth mentioning because it really showed that the women are competent, the men are competent. And like they say, this is the most athletic season of Big Brother we've ever seen. And I think that's why it's so cracking. You know, and people are saying, hey, man, what you ranking this season? We need to be careful ranking the season high, all right? All right. We got to wait till we get towards the end, okay? We can't be premature here. Anyway, 8:59 p.m., camera 4. There must have been no lockdown after all because towards the end of the women's workout, they are all outside running. Haley talks to Bay about Rockstar in the bathroom, and they are concerned Rockstar is the deal breaker in a possible girls' alliance with Casey and Angela. But it's really Bailey, and she doesn't know it. 9:17 p.m., camera 4. Casey and Angela come together upstairs to discuss how little they trust Rockstar, Haley, and Bailey. Angela plans to not only out Bailey in her speech, but the fact that the girls are scared now and tried to put together a girls' alliance right after the veto comp is going to make her use this information to ruin Rockstar and Haley's relationship with Faisal. This is maybe the only bad move Haley makes all week. But let's be clear, though. These women would have never approached them about an all-girls alliance if Scotty had won veto and decided not to use it. Or let's say Faisal gets picked for veto and he wins it and doesn't use it. They would have never approached him about this. So I appreciated the fact that they got telegraphed immediately because it was a dumb move on their part. And I feel like Haley shouldn't have been part of it. But Haley, the only way for her to not be looked at as the hacker is for her to act like she wants to align with these women. So she was almost coerced into doing it because of Bailey's own stupidity. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. Because she can't give off anything different to Bailey. She has to allow Bailey to consistently be the leader of the group until she's gone. All right. This is maybe the only, like I said, this is maybe the only bad move Haley makes all week. Let's be clear, though. These women would have never approached them if someone like Scotty won veto and decided not to use it. But he already was going to take Tyler off anyway. So no matter what, they should have approached Casey and Angela before veto was played or not at all, because now all of them look bad. But once again, if Angela follows through with throwing 2 more women under the bus, she'll bury her chances of winning even more. Casey is only allowing this because she wins sitting next to Angela as long as she plays the game this way. 10:49 p.m. Camera 1, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is still Saturday. Bailey and Haley discuss what Angela told Bailey. Angela basically asked Bailey to use her power app to help her later in the game, but this was all smoke and mirrors to justify her targeting Bailey in the first place. Bailey was unwilling in the moment to make a deal, and in doing so, she came off more guilty of being the hacker, unfortunately. Bailey tells Haley they have to reassure Angela, but by now it's too late. They actually think they can convince Faisal to nominate a guy and a girl, but that shit won't work either. Bailey now is all of a sudden okay with her friend Sam leaving now because she feels the heat. Now all of a sudden she sees Sam as being close to JC, Scotty, and Tyler. But where was this shit at when she was looking for a pawn when she was HOH? You feel what I'm saying? She should have used Sam as the damn pawn, not Rachel. Okay? You would have had the least amount of blood on your hands because Sam ain't coming after you. Sam ain't winning shit. You know, she won something, but she ain't winning another comp. And a lot of people think that endurance comp was thrown to Sam, by the way. They don't believe Sam really worked for that. I mean, come on, Tyler could have been on that for another year, probably. Anyway, she gave Sam a free week, but now Sam can go even though you're claiming to want the women to work together. This gameplay is mind-boggling for a guy to just peep game on, especially for her and Haley to think Angela is even considering this. Sam came upstairs and got offended because they got quiet when she came into the HOH room. Bailey thinks Sam wanted Tyler to win HOH, but Haley wisely sees that it would benefit Sam's game much more to want Scotty to, oh, my fault. She wanted Tyler to win veto. I actually put HOH. But Haley wisely sees that it would benefit Sam's game much more to want Scotty to win veto to take off Tyler and keep himself safe. If only Bailey treated Haley as an equal when she was HOH, she probably wouldn't be in this mess because she would have the right type of advisory. Bay sends Haley on a mission to get Faisal to tell Angela that he won't target her or Casey if he wins HOH. Haley goes to get Faisal and sends him to Bailey. Bailey tells Faisal she wants to make sure he doesn't get backdoored, so they need to arrange a meeting with Casey and Angela to form a truce. I truthfully don't think Bailey cares about Faisal's game as much as she's trying to rebound from not making that deal with Angela about using her app to save her a week from now or whenever that time comes. And the thing is, she made this promise with Rachel so quick that she would use it to protect her. So I don't know why she didn't just make it just as fast with Angela. Maybe she thought shit was so sweet. I don't know. 11:24 p.m. Camera 4. Bailey goes to the HOH room to break the ice and discusses Sam with Angela, trying to fill her out essentially on if she'd be willing to backdoor. This was a bad move because it gives Angela another thing to bring up in her speech. But one thing I think is interesting is how Angela admitted Sam goes to the DR once every hour. Why do these house guests not notice this shit about Tyler, though? It's almost like they ignore it with him, but notice everything with Sam. Thought that was very key. The more time you're walking in the DR, clearly you're the person that's narrating the show. I would target that person every time, honestly. That would be my strategy. Oh, that motherfucker going to the DR all the time? All right, we got to get rid of him. You know what I'm saying? I think that would be a sound strategy for anyone to use. I would love to see someone use that strategy like all throughout the entire game. I wonder if they could win that way. But anyway, Haley comes into the HOH with him and makes a mistake telling Angela that she doesn't trust Sam because she could be working with Tyler and Scotty. I think this was the last mistake Haley really made for the rest of the week, but this leads into Sunday's feed, so follow me. 1:32 a.m. Camera 3, which is still Saturday night, but technically this is Sunday now, so I counted it. Rockstar Haley and Faisal are talking on a hammock about the game, and they are so confused why anyone would make a pinky promise over winning the veto. This pisses me off because Haley clearly nominated Tyler with her hacker app. So why isn't she telling Rockstar and Faisal Tyler is clearly on the other side? Because both of them are just looking at things for the most part on the surface. They seem more mad at Scotty for not winning the veto than they are mad at Tyler for throwing it to Angela. Tyler throwing it showed he's too comfortable. They then segue to discussing Rachel's exit from the house. Haley appears to be obsessed with the In My Feelings song by Drake because she keeps saying, Kiki, do you love me? She keeps saying that shit on feeds. I just have to admit it. I mean, damn. I mean, it's like once every 30 minutes you hear someone humming that shit. Anyway, which makes me think Angela must have that song on her playlist because how else would she be able to hear that song? That song just got popping when Scorpion dropped, and Scorpion dropped while they were in the house. So it must be on someone's playlist. But anyway, Faisal then reveals a secret about Sam maybe being related to Christmas Rousey because Sam acted like she didn't know who that was at the start of the game. But about a week ago, she told other house guests to stop playing around or they'll wind up like Christmas. This makes them believe there's more to her than what she's saying. Sam's target is definitely increasing after the hacker twist speech debacle. This is important to note because it could explain why she doesn't win at the end, because her "I don't know the game" disposition contradicts her actions of trying to limit all blood on her hands. Faisal admits another gem that explains the bias of production right before they all go their separate ways. He tells Rockstar and Haley that production sent more Hamazon every time he tried to cook some other food. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? All these other people get these easy ass little crap apps, and you mean to tell me every time this Muslim brother tries to eat something else, you give him some ham, some fake ham to eat? So that's disrespectful to me, all right? This shows me that production went out of their way to piss him off and disrespect his religion overtly. This pisses me off even more after realizing how easy the other crap apps have been. This is a damn shame. But pay attention to Haley telling Faisal, "You have me." She also tells him she hasn't had a boyfriend in a year. He promises to take her on a vacation after the game, and she agrees. These two and Scotty are who I'm rooting for at this point to win. Faisal is 100% sure he would have washed Tyler and Scotty in at veto comp. Faisal thinks it was so arrogant for Tyler to keep the Hawaii trip even though he's on the block. This is great because after Bay goes home, it will be 5 men to 5 women, which means anyone could win when it's 5-5 in the final 10. No one really has an unfair advantage anymore. And see, that's exactly why I wanted Rachel to go, ladies and gentlemen, because it would have been a 7-4 advantage. Now that Rachel has gone, we're at 5-5. That's impressive. The perfect time for Faisal to win HOH and strike the other side is next week, in my opinion. Tyler also might not use his app on a Faisal HOH because Faisal has been pushing this all men's thing. Faisal also needs to win an HOH after Bailey leaves because he already has enough to worry about with JC telling the other side stuff. But Bay also snitching on him will be problematic. Haley is all he needs in his ear with an HOH reign, and I think she would be smart enough to let their showmance blossom to remove JC from the picture because I truly believe Faisal would drop JC quickly if he has the lady he wants. Okay? They then get to discussing Scotty being fake and a flipper, but I give them a pass for what they don't know. If they knew Bailey contemplated doing the same thing for weeks now, they'd be more mad at her than Scotty, because Scotty was never really a member until they started calling themselves the Hive, which Scotty mentions is the name they made him come up with to make him feel included. Interesting. Haley wisely doesn't tell Faisal she's the hacker and pins it on Scotty. Faisal is more mad at Scotty for openly saying he'd take Tyler down in front of everyone more than anything else. Faisal believes Scotty saying that also meant he wouldn't mind Faisal being the back door. Because think about it. If Angela wanted Scotty to leave, but he wins veto and saves Tyler, the next best target for her is Faisal. So it makes sense for Faisal to look at Scotty this way, a little side-eyed. This once again shows Faisal isn't as dumb as people think. He just isn't that good either. But I'd rather watch a recruit play. I'd rather watch a recruit's play that has accepted their limitations and doesn't try to be who they aren't over a player like Bailey, who claims to be a massive super fan but couldn't even remember who Marcellus is from BB3. I mean, she wants everyone to think she knows what she's doing, but that's how you set yourself up with high expectations. If Bailey had been honest about her own inadequacies in this game, I would give her the same leeway as Faisal. It's all about how you turn a weakness into a strength. And right now, Faisal is using the fact that people think he's dumb as a strength. As Haley and Faisal discuss stuff like what age they thought they'd have kids and get married, feeds jumped cut to Rockstar talking to Sam about KC. Now remember, it's Sam's fault why KC is wearing another leotard. So pay close attention to Sam trying to act like she's always been a huge advocate for Casey because production one day gave her a pack of ladies' V-necks instead of giving her men's V-necks. Oh, what a terrible thing to do. They gave a woman's t-shirt. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Sam is trying to damage control herself, throwing Casey into another leotard by playing up how much she loves her to Rockstar. But Rockstar already knows Sam ain't shit. So I don't know why she's talking about this if she doesn't feel that guilt setting in. Tyler wants Angela to ask Bailey what she thinks she should do. That way she can use whatever Bailey's answers is against her. Angela also wants Scotty to tell Bay if she asks that he expects Angela to make the decision that will get the least blood on her hands. 3:00 p.m. Sunday. Faisal is talking to Angela about how much of a legend she'll be if she breaks her promise to Tyler and Scotty by taking Rockstar off and putting Scotty back up. For his game, this was a smart move to make. Yeah, Angela looks at it as ass kissing, but the important thing is Faisal isn't making himself a bigger target than Bay already is. That's key. Tyler walks in and interrupts him speaking to Angela by telling him Sam wants her mic back. Tyler walks in and asks Angela about what he said, about what Faisal said, then segues to asking Angela about the speech she's going to do at the veto ceremony. Angela says she plans on bringing up Bay having too much power in this game. She also plans to throw her under the bus by also saying she's tired of people making Scotty the scapegoat. Now, all of a sudden, you give a fuck about Scotty? You're the Robin Hood for Scotty? Get the fuck out of here, okay? Angela even told Tyler about the All Girls Alliance thing that they tried to pull off during the lockdown, and Tyler says Bay is so stupid for waiting until this week to pitch an alliance to Angela. So Angela plans to use Bay making Scotty put his hands on the Bible to make promises against her. I fully expect this to be amazing television on Wednesday and Thursday, but for Tyler to tell Angela this is a good idea just because other players play dirty is hypocritical on his end. Tyler has played dirty with Swaggy in the past. He is no saint. So the fact that he's allowing Angela to go all out shows he wants her to ruin her own jury management so he looks better by comparison, which I can't knock him for because that's good play, but don't be a hypocrite either. This is a masterclass manipulation by Tyler here, even if I don't agree with his tactics all the time. He now can drag Angela to the end, and Bailey will probably hate her more than him. He even thinks Bay tried to backdoor him last week just because the hacker threw him up this week. The most ironic thing about this, though, is Bailey really intended for him to have a free week. You know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't know. She was really she was really on that sauce, okay? She was letting that wine fuck up her thinking processes. But yeah, so he really doesn't think she looked at him as a sweet baby. But being thrown on a block this week has negated all the goodwill she's built up with Tyler. Just like how Bailey forgot about all of Scotty's goodwill during his HOH because of one mistake. Strategic karma, ladies and gentlemen. This level of strategic karma is uncanny, and I frankly don't feel sorry for Bailey because she didn't mind the same thing happening to Scotty a week prior. Feeds go out. 3:50 p.m. Wait. 3:50 p.m. My fault. Camera 2. Feeds come back, and Angela's in the HOH with Bailey and Rockstar. Bay reveals that this grandma twist made Brett toss Bailey's bed and stuff all on the ground. But she never mentioned Brett tossing anyone else's in the pink room. So production could have put this granny up to fucking Bay's shit up specifically. Something for us to look out for on Wednesday night's episode. I just want to throw that out there. Because if this grandma only demands him to ruin one bed and it happens to be Bailey's, I feel like production is trying to get her to explode for ratings. So we need to look out for this on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. But it's something I definitely took a note on, okay? 5:33 p.m. Camera 4. What pisses me off the most about Sunday is Bailey wasted really her last day in the game off the block trying to get Angela to backdoor Sam. Sam? That's the plan? This is when, honestly, I stopped caring about her being backdoored because she refused to see the writing on the wall and just kept keeping people focused on dumb strategies instead of using her damn app. If Bailey used her app this week, Haley could have then did something to nullify the blood a bit, and they could have gotten out Brett or Casey at least. But because Bailey chose to trust women on the other side more than Haley, Hacker Hales lost trust for her, resulting in everyone looking out for themselves like Bailey has been the past few weeks. She turned her allies into worse players by getting them to play her own flawed gameplay. This is the sad truth, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's talk about Sunday's episode for a little bit. I think I pretty much dived deep into this, but Sunday's episode is confusing because once again, they throw Bailey under the bus, offsetting whatever positive momentum she could have had from the family visit. Notice how as soon as Brett said losers in his confessional, the camera immediately panned to Bailey. Did y'all notice that? They are throwing haymakers at her in this edit, subliminally though, okay? Bailey is out here talking about Brett opening Pandora's box by telling the house her secret, but I'd say she opened it herself when she told Rachel for personal gain, and Brett exposing her was just the strategic karma of the Pandora's box, because every Pandora's box comes with a negative effect. Brett's game is starting to rival Tyler's, but the difference is Brett is cool, calm, and collected on the block, while Tyler is a little bit of a worrywart. I think Brett has high upside to be able to shock the world here. They're giving Angela this new edit now just because she's HOH, but notice how they provided a flashback to make sense out of her furniture gameplay, but they never gave Bailey the same context to explain hers to kickstart her HOH reign. Also, peep game on how much more cocky Tyler's confessionals are getting each week. This dude is so arrogant before the hacker comp starts, but it's important to mention this because Tyler is what I've been saying he is, a good player in a great position, not a great player in a good position. Notice how quickly Tyler threw Bailey's name out. This is a personal thing with him, Casey, and Angela at this point. At least with Brett, you can tell it's just a game. He didn't even go back and forth with Bailey on Sunday's episode in the bedroom, even though she was getting loud with him, okay? That shows me Brett isn't looking at this as serious, okay? Whereas Tyler, like, he'll be mean-mugging Bailey when she walk up. It's a different disposition entirely. I just wish Bailey had this energy for Angela and Casey last week, but she wanted to bluff this man-eater shit. The other three members of Level 4 have a legit reason to hate Bailey. Brett just has a reason to want her gone because she nominated him. But I will admit it's the best logical game move to burn this twist. I was trying to get Caitlyn to burn Sam's twist week 1, so I won't be a hypocrite now and act like, oh, because this one's black, he can't do it. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say at the end of the day, I wish y'all would have had this same mindset when Sam had a fucking power. Anyway. Notice how production hit the cloud showing on the monitor before the hacker comp in the edit. Many people believe they put the cloud twist up there to give Tyler a hint at the twist to use his app. I think this confirms it because it wasn't shown to us as part of the protocol. I'm just mentioning this one more time to drive the point home that I think they were trying to give Tyler subtle hints to save himself, which further shows he's production's pet. This hacker comp was the coolest comp I've seen in years. It felt like a comp The Genius would come up with. If you guys have never watched The Genius and you're into Big Brother, it comes with subtitles, but I think the channel on YouTube is called like Bum Diddly Umptious or something. I'm telling y'all, The Genius is a real nice show to watch. Like if you ever have free time and you just want to watch something like fresh, that's different, and it's kind of thought-provoking, like The Genius is pretty good. But anyway, I thought this comp was something The Genius would come up with because The Genius makes you really think, you know what I'm saying, like outside the box with strategy. The fact that they took them off campus to do this comp is cool enough, but I find it interesting that they allowed Tyler to say blindside as his favorite word in the edit. I mean, they're just slobbing this guy down. But it is ironic that they really didn't score a point, but Tyler's group thinks she won the hacker. I'm still trying to figure out why Tyler thought Namaset was the answer for competition, though. Boy, you about dumb as hell, boy. This dude, the word is competition, and he typing Nomicet. Like, are you dumb as shit, low-key? Like, what's going on, coach? I guess production ain't give you the answers to this one. Okay, maybe if it was a time comp, you would have won. Oh, they would have swapped some shit. I don't know. Anyway, notice how once again production snuck in a spoiler of what will happen the rest of the week at the end by letting Angela say she will save Tyler and throw up Bailey. This is production telling us once again what's going to happen on Thursday. You know, I don't know why they do this because it removes the doubt from the equation. Like, why have that confessional at all? I just don't get it. Now, maybe they were dog whistling to the people that hate Bailey and say, this is why you need to keep watching, guys. We're going to get her. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just that simple, but I think there's more than meets the eye. Now let's get to Monday's feeds because nothing really mattered before the veto ceremony. Okay, we're going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, after these Monday's feeds. 12:11 p.m. camera 1. Bailey is walking back and forth after being backdoored, and Casey ain't got shit to say to her. This is right after feeds come back, ladies and gentlemen. 12:11 p.m. camera 1. Bailey collects her thoughts for a second and decides to come to the HOH room to confront Angela, but Angela's bitch ass kept the door locked and yelled through the door, I don't want to talk right now. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So you're going to say all of this stuff about me, but you don't want to confront me. Okay, I know what type you are. You know. Like Angela's playing like Stephen Curry. I want to cross you over and shoot in your face, but when I'm on defense, I want to hide and I don't want to guard you. That's Angela right now. Okay? She won all the smoke when she got power, but then she's going to say Bailey is the one on a power trip? I think you both were on power trips. Okay? I think you both could be on power trips now too. But this is the pot calling the kettle black once again, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I'm going to break that shit down. Fuck out of here. How's she gonna make a speech so disrespectful towards someone and then run from the smoke? This tells me she ain't shit and Casey ain't shit. But this is why I call this Rant strategic karma, because they gonna get theirs eventually. They gonna get there. Boy, if there's a battle back comp, I hope Angela is evicted so Bailey can go at it with her. Oh, that's what we need to hope for, coach. We need to hope for that, coach. That would be so lit. 8 minutes later, Haley goes to the pink bedroom to comfort Bay, and Bay is regretting not using her app like I said she would. Damn. Anyway, Bay says she doesn't want to go off or get loud and says she's done with these crazy white people. I thought that was pretty funny. She kind of had the rock star going for her right there. At this point, keep in mind, Bailey still thinks someone on the other side has the hacker, so she thinks it's over for him. Bailey then says when Tyler watches this back, he'll regret this, which is interesting because all of a sudden it's like now she sees he's controlling that side, but as early as the night before, she only wanted Sam to go up. I'm like, oh, so all it took is for Angela to backdoor you and all of a sudden Tyler ain't shit? Like, damn, like, how come you couldn't see the truth before? Production manipulation. I'm telling you, it's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? All right, I almost lost myself for a second. Hold up. Wait. Oh, snap. Yeah, I just scrolled up on accident. Extra hard. Hold up. Dang, how did I get all the way up to Sunday's feed all of a sudden, coach? Dang, coach. All right. Hold up. Sunday, Monday. All right, my bad about that, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, keep in mind, Bailey still thinks someone on the other side has the hacker, so she thinks it's over. Bailey then says that Tyler, when he watches this back, he'll regret this, which is interesting because all of a sudden it's like she now knows he's controlling that side, but as early as the night before, she only wanted Sam to go up. Bay then connects the dots that Casey has been acting weird because she knew this backdoor was coming. I hope this leads to Bailey blowing up some people's games before she leaves. She's already in the jury. She ain't got shit to lose anyway. The least she should do on Thursday is let the whole house know whoever gets out Angela has her vote to win. I think that would be a great gameplay tactic, and it would set up their battle back to be the first battle back comp. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. See, man, you might as well hire me because I can write these. I can write this storyline better than y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But anyway. But yeah, Bae then connects the dots that Casey has been acting weird because she knew the backdoor was coming. I hope this leads to Bailey blowing up some people's game before she leaves. She's already in the jury. She at least should do something on Thursday to let the whole house know whoever gets out Angela has her vote to win. This will incentivize them to get revenge for her. But maybe this is too much of a high-level play for her. I'm not sure. I hope she does it, though. But I hope she finds an alternative to just blowing up, because then even if she returns, they're just going to send her right back. I don't want her to be the angry black woman. I want her to be tactical and realize that a battle back is highly likely. So be calm, be calm. But when that speech comes, let them know what's popping. Anyway, supposedly Tyler went off on Bailey during his veto speech to get Angela to use it on him. Most likely they rehearsed both of their speeches. But why does Tyler feel the need to overly embarrass the black players like this? He did Swaggy dirty. He used their connection with their dead dads against him to lull him into a state of insecurity, basically, to lull him into a state of weakness, basically, a vulnerability, But then later he says he didn't like Caitlyn because she used his dad strategically to get close to him. So it's like, okay, Tyler, so only you can use your dead dad for strategy. Okay, I get it. But how about you not use your dead dad at all for strategy? How about that? But okay. Scotty walks in to talk to Bae, but at this point, she thinks he's flipped, so she ain't telling him a damn thing. I felt bad for Scotty here because he never really did anything wrong to her specifically, but she's so busy disliking anyone who's close to Tyler, she's making everyone guilty by association, just like they did to her with Swaggy, which is hypocritical on Bailey's end. I got to be honest here. She keeps saying people didn't kick me while I was down. They sure as hell kicking you while you're down now. I don't think it's smart for you to push away the little support that you're getting in this moment when people are avoiding you. You need to be thankful that these people are even trying to be in the same room with you. Okay. Because really, it doesn't behoove Rockstar to be nice to you no more, because it's either you or her. She's better off staying the fuck away from you. You see what I'm saying? And now that you pissed off Sam, Rockstar needs to go hang out with Sam more. But anyway, Rockstar walks in and she's silent along with Scotty. They're completely shell-shocked. 12:47 p.m., camera one. Beast Mode Cowgirl is crying by herself in the Geo room, acting so hurt. But this shit is fake tears to me. I'm going to call it right now. There's a lot of people like, oh, Casey has earned my respect from crying. Like, what? Just because she cried? You know, people tried to tell me Haley and Rockstar wasn't shit for keeping the secret that Swaggy would be backdoored from them. Okay? People told me that. Well, why does it seem like people are giving Casey a pass for not telling Bailey she's going to get backdoored when clearly she's closer to Bailey than Rockstar and Haley ever were to Swaggy? You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm really saying here? Like, we should be holding Casey to a higher standard than we held Haley and Rockstar in week 2. You see what I'm saying? Like what? You feel me? So I think that's bullshit. Bailey comes in hot, asking her questions that Casey won't answer because Casey on that fuckboy shit, okay? Casey allowed Tyler and Angela to talk greasy on Bailey's name for the whole country to see. I'm not letting her slide by just crying. Fuck out of here. She knew about Angela's speech ahead of time, so all this crying is whack to me. Casey is a coward, just like Angela is, hiding in that damn HOH room with Tyler, okay? Then Casey has the nerve to ask her who is the hacker. She claims to be so sad, but if she really was, why would she be asking questions trying to gather intel like this? I thought this was disrespectful to Bailey's intelligence level as well. You feel it, dig me? And it also showed me those tears were fake because she still had the wherewithal to try to ask a question to gather information to her in Bailey's most vulnerable state, which shows me that's a dirty tactic on your part, Casey. But see, people ain't gonna call you out for this because they don't really know the game. But Smitty will. Recency bias radio will. Gatling gun, baby. You can get this work, coach. Anyway, she's taking advantage of Bailey's guard being down to gather more intel for the same people that just disrespected her. So clearly she ain't sad about shit, okay? That ain't no friend. That's a damn op. Straight up. Their conversation eventually ends with Bailey being resigned to the fact that her game is over. Bailey says she's given up. And Casey says, don't give up. It's not what you do. What you mean it's not what she does? Like, you don't know her. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you don't give a fuck about her. So we ain't trying to hear that shit from you, coach. You know, it's over, bruh. And honestly, I don't like to see Bailey giving up either because she was on Rockstar's case for giving up when it looked to be a little bleak for Rockstar. So I don't really want to see her. I want to see her having that same energy she had for Rockstar. I want to see her having that same energy when she was talking down all these other people who were pawns on the block like Rachel. I want to see that. But at the same time, no, I won't have y'all being condescending towards her when you guys are using her emotions against her, when you guys dangled this flip to our side shit, then betrayed your own ally who tried to help her flip to your side. I'm not allowing this shit from Casey, okay? Nah, recency bias radio ain't going. Tyler was on the verge of going ballistic because of the damn hacker twist, and he actually could fight to stay, juxtaposed to Bailey. And people like Casey acted like it was the end of the world for Tyler. Casey was more worried about Tyler then than she is now with Bailey. I don't buy this shit. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Bailey walks up to Tyler and tells him she promises to God she isn't the hacker, and that's it. Tyler just has this smug smirk on his face and doesn't say shit back except K. You know, I don't know a straight man that says K, okay? I don't know a straight man that texts K, okay? So I don't know what you on, Tyler, but you need to say okay sometime. But anyway, those villainous eyes I was talking about have returned. You know, the lifeguard devil eyes. You feel what I'm saying? Hard to believe this was the same guy kicking pillows when he didn't get his way. Total beta male. I fully expect Wednesday and Thursday night's episode to be epic now. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been the 18th rant of Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism, entitled Strategic Karma. If I missed something, please comment below and let the listeners and viewers know about it. I don't mind sharing information, obviously. So I would like us to be able to communicate amongst ourselves in the comment section as much as we can. But thank you all for being here for Strategic Karma. If you could, please like, share, and subscribe. And on the right side of my channel's page, click on that bell. That way you could be here with the most lit live chat in Big Brother US history, bar none. I will be back in your airwaves on Thursday night. It's going to be cracking. And we're going to be discussing Wednesday and Thursday night's episode that night. And I will be taking questions once again, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you for coming through, showing love as always. The mighty mods, you are always appreciated. You are the sovereign six of the mod game. You feel it, dig me, coach? But I truly appreciate y'all coming through, man. I'm about to get back to these feeds to see if Bailey airs out some laundry, coach, because that was all I was able to gather out of today's feeds. But I gave y'all just enough to be prepared for Wednesday and Thursday, I believe. So it's going to be interesting. So I'll see you guys on Thursday, man. Thank you all once again for being here. All love. Deuces.